I ask people who are really fit what they do for their workouts.
Yeah.
Leak inside.
All right. Well, we're set. That's for goddamn sure. Be painting a little bit tonight. Got to do a little. Was it last night? Night before last? I can't remember. My memory is fucked. It's crappers. So, let's get me on the screen. So, glad anybody who's here is here. We're going to start things off. I'm just, kind of still reveling in these awesome acrylic markers I got. They've allowed me to kind of break, and I'll take some of the light off really quick because it is awful bright on camera. Not much I can do about that considering how small I'm working. But, long and short, they've allowed a lot more control. And they are acrylic, so they're easy to work with. They go, now I'll give you a little idea of the shape here. So these little skinny guys, I picked these up at Hobby Lobby. And honestly, don't much agree with them on their political bent, but they are one of the few places around here that pays their workers a very decent wage, a livable wage actually, and they're always the best supplied. They have an impossible amount of good stock, and then they got stuff like this, their store brand. This is probably the best thing I've bought from their store brand. This is the acrylic markers, which they have Poscas there, which are also acrylics. So these mix really well, especially if you're going to do small stuff like this. 5x7s. These I would recommend all the way. They have a just awesome little fine brush tip. And ton of colors. I do believe this was like $28. But look at this mess. I got 3 rows of frickin' colors. Yeah, and they were always doing 40% off at that place on all sorts of stuff. These were 40% off. And I am so glad that I happened in when those were there. I could have just stayed at home and picked a scab or something. Watch news, got upset. Did a ton of things. Watch a movie that I've watched 1,000 times already. But I digress. Sleep is not good, people. Sleep is not good. If you're not in the U.S., you may not quite understand. Of course, there's other things going on aside from the U.S., but we're egocentric. Our problems are everything. But we do have a maniac who's planning on not letting voting happen unless it happens the way he wants to later this year. So, put a fine point on it. I think I'm going to go kick him in his vag. Gonna hoof him in the front butt. And that's the best I think we can do. Of course, we probably have an exploding diaper on our hands, but like I haven't dealt with that before. Granddad at this point. That shit happens. Wouldn't expect it from an adult, but, it's a shit show for a reason. Mostly because he's shitting everywhere. Alright. Rant over. I'll probably get on with it a little later. A little more later. Because shit don't sit well with me. But we're here about the paints. I'm going to go ahead and pause my music. Do some of the humorous stuff. We're going to go with a little bit of the dramatic newsreel. Because apparently... Whoops. Why did I bring the plug up? That's not the reference I need. Lady G something happened. I don't know. As you see, little Luke Beasley. He's one of my faves on YouTube. He's a funny guy. He's very, very Smithers. Yeah, he's kind of like a Smithers type. But we're going to go ahead and let his reel go. And, oh, I can't play that. I can't play that friggin' song. I was about to hit him with some friggin' like German SNN club stuff that was just happening on a playlist. Well, not even my playlist. This is the recommendations. Son of a bitch. That's a little hardcore, man. Little bit. Alright, I know what piece I'm going to get into. So we'll go ahead and start out my man Luke. He's always a little high energy gentleman.
Side of a room that Lindsey Graham was in being a total lunatic. And it kind of feels like Trump and his allies are on a mission to make sure that no one in the world likes us anymore. We spent decades building up goodwill with our allies. And it actually comes in handy. When the U.S. calls, yes, a lot because of our power, but we also have a lot of goodwill. People listen. We can get stuff we want. And we can make the deals we want. And we can tell you, no, don't get too intertwined with that country. And hey. We can do a lot of hey. And it feels like the Trump administration is trying to destroy all that goodwill in one term. And you see that in bigger ways. Trump alienating our allies through all of his trade policy and through his cozying up to adversaries at the expense of allies, and the way that he degrades people who align a lot more with our values but praises people who don't. But then there's smaller ways, like whenever you send Lindsey Graham into a meeting with the Prime Minister of Denmark, and I'm pretty sure the Greenland Prime Minister, to chat Greenland, or Iceland as Trump called it, and then you have Lindsey, who supposedly is represented in the United States, just being a complete and total dick. No one likes us anymore, guys. So before I tell you about that story, here was Lindsey already publicly upsetting a lot of our allies on the subject of Greenland.
Is to get outcomes.
Yeah.
Who gives a shit who owns Greenland? I don't. So the point is, Greenland is going to be more fortified because Donald Trump.
Can I answer the question? Who gives a shit who owns Greenland? Denmark.
People, yeah. Well, Greenland
is my first guess. Maybe whoever owns it right now, maybe they care. Oh, maybe the people of Greenland care. Yeah, I think so. And don't you tell me about fortification. Don't you tell me about fortification. You know nothing about fortification. I know everything about fortification. We can fortify the hell out of Greenland. They're fine with that. We already do. We already have military presence there. They're our ally. That's the point. So you treating them with disdain and who gives a shit, and then Trump saying it's ours, maybe we'll use our military to take it, is so destructive to the trust that we have cultivated. Then you have this story. Trump allies, talking about Lindsey Graham, disturbing insult to female leader revealed. Lots of F-bombs is the subheading. Here's the quickest pause to request that you click the subscribe button. The simplest, easiest, freest way, completely free.
I'll get past that.
Yeah, so as you're going to see through this, I hate to use this phrase, but the Danish Prime Minister mogged Lindsey Graham.
Mogged?
That's a Danish term. You might not know about it, but it's a little Danish term I picked up when I went there. A mog. And she did it to Lindsey. Because what did he want? He wanted a fight.
Part man, part dog.
As you're going to see. And she just went, when you're done, we can continue. Oh! So good. Lindsey Graham has been accused of derailing a diplomatic meeting in Munich with an what was the way that someone recently pronounced it? Expletive-laden rant and sexist insult leveled at Denmark's prime minister. The close ally of President Donald Trump himself, no stranger to vicious verbal attacks against women, is said to have called Mette Frederiksen little lady as he looked her straight in the eye and sneered during the exchange at a Munich hotel on Saturday. According to a Danish newspaper.
Think Lindsey Graham was jealous of her shoes or something?
I wish and I say this as someone who never promotes political violence, I wish she had kicked him in the crotch. Because I feel like you would have had to have, this was in Munich.
Oh, Jesus.
I feel like you could have gotten away with it too. Because everyone in that room kind of wants to see Lindsey Graham get kicked in the crotch. And especially if it's after you call a prime minister little lady, you deserve it at that point. Graham had been meeting with Frederiksen to discuss Trump's threats earlier this year to annex Greenland. Also in attendance at the meeting, held on the sidelines of the Munich Security Conference, were several members of the House and Senate, along with Greenlandic Prime Minister Jens Frederik Nielsen. Puck first broke news of Graham's foul-mouthed meltdown Monday. Sources with knowledge of the conversation said he was combative and that he threw around lots of F-bombs, with one person adding, "Picture Graham on his worst day on TV. He was like this."
I want sanctuary city policy to end.
Lindsey Graham.
You can picture Lindsey Graham coming out to the meeting with a glass of something.
He's rolling with a mint julep.
He's all sweaty. And you see like two dudes, big muscular German dudes, walking out of his hotel room. He's like, "All right, I'm ready for the meeting. Come here, little lady." Who gives a shit about Greenland? Okay. I was in the middle of the best orgasm of my life, and you pull me down here to talk about Greenland. Who gives a shit, little lady?
Mr. Hyatt.
My mama told me I was gonna be great, and I became a senator, and she's still ashamed that I share her name. Get out of that, little lady. It's like, button your shirt, Lindsay. I'm sorry, everyone. The mic covered most of my shirt being unbuttoned. I know. You're like, no. No.
All right.
Others described it as shocking, disturbing, and extremely inappropriate. One attendee told the newspaper Grant had also targeted Greenland's leader, Nielsen.
Jesus.
So he's taken on two different women, having yawned directly in his face in a way that could only be perceived as mocking. Oh, wait, Nielsen's a guy. Never mind. Jens is a guy. I was picturing like Jin. Jens is okay. So then he yawned in the Prime Minister of Greenland's face. Prior to the outburst, Graham had reportedly boasted about Trump having enormous power as the American president. I hate when defenders of Trump and fans of him, and Graham does this a lot, go like, "Trump is the president of the United States of America. He's so powerful, and he has the nuclear codes." It's like, yeah. Yep, that's the president. You don't have to go. I think it actually diminishes the power of the presidency or the perceived awe when you have to keep explaining it. People know we're the United States of freaking America. Yeah, that's pretty cool. The presidency,
nobody shuts up about it.
He's pretty powerful. Having to repeat it makes you seem very, very insecure. Frederiksen is understood to have calmly waited until Graham had finished. So he's swearing. He's saying "little lady." His shirt is slowly falling off of him, and he's grumpy and he's drunk. I'm adding some extra descriptors that weren't in this reporting. And when he finished his outburst, Frederiksen said, "When you're done with that, the meeting can continue."
Cold-blooded.
That's good. That's how you deal with someone like that, because he feels like he failed to get a rise out of her. And I admire that for sure. That's how you deal with someone who's losing their mind unjustly. And it just makes me sad because I think we're getting a really bad name. Like Trump, they're probably like, "Oh, yay, we don't have to meet with Trump today about Greenland." He probably would be really disrespectful and alienating of our stance on this. And they send in Lindsey Graham and he's acting this way. This
is the wrong music for this.
Is at its best something so epic.
God damn it, Holst.
And I'm so proud to be American, but it breaks my heart that the leaders going around the world at these international conferences representing who we are doing so in big ways, and then here in smaller ways in just sort of a trashy, low character fashion.
I think I might have to get
And
off
if anyone's
this.
a little lady, it's Lindsey Graham.
Yeah, Lindsay.
That needs to be said.
That's a foregone conclusion.
Before
Gotta get
moving-
his balls back.
Well, Frederiksson kicked them off, and that's where they went in my fantasy.
In my fantasy. He's a good kid. But as we can see, these paints blend amazingly. And my next video, I'm torn because I wanted to do more politics. But then there's WWE Legends explained how terrifying the Honky Tonk Man was. The Honky Tonk Man? Terrifying. I wonder if he was like a partier or he was just violent. Because the only wrestler I hear that is... There's certain ones that all the other wrestlers talk about in kind of hushed tones. Of course, everybody kind of coalesced around Andre the Giant when he was the Thing. You know, he was clearly the boss. But there were a couple of wrestlers that Andre the Giant was afraid of. Like, he really respected them, and he understood how actual tough they were without his size. And that was Harley Race, who, you know, if you look at him now, compared to other athletes and wrestlers, he doesn't look like much. But he's got that kind of old guy strength from living like a carny, always on the road, always wrestling, and like doing the old school exercises like 500 air squats, and had like an insane grip strength. And Andre actually, when when they would wrestle, Andre was pretty notorious for not wanting to give up a body slam. He always gave a body slam for Harley Race. But Harley was also not one to be messed with. He pulled a gun on Hogan. And when the territories were starting to shrink and Hogan was coming to his town. So there was a confrontation. In any case, the other one that was scary to people was Meng. And Meng, and I can't remember what he was, and because he went by two different names. But Meng was Tongan, and he's still around. He's an older man now. He does the autograph circuits and stuff. But apparently, if people messed with him, he was a really nice guy, really tolerant until like you hit his limit, and he actually bit a guy's nose off, and was crazy strong, and also had done sumo, so he was just powerful, and he was flexible enough to, you know, throw high kicks. So maybe like just advice for the future, youngins, if you ever decide to test someone in a bar, try not to make them a person of the islands. Because there are people that are just, you know, there's tough and then there's tough. And it's kind of like saying people from LA are different. People in LA are definitely different. There's a level of we don't give a fuck. It's kind of like Portland. Portland has its own signature weirdos. New York has its own type of not giving a fuck. Yeah, dudes from the islands, there's a difference there that most people shouldn't cross that line. All right. So that said, I've had my fill of wrestling by theorizing and shit, and I see little oh gosh, I just came up with the best name for him. I was searching through music the other day, and every now and then I listen to the electronic stuff And something came up. It was Alpha Pussy. And it was this very butch chick. And I saw it, and I couldn't stop. Not just repeating it, but every time I repeated it, I fucking laughed like a first grader with naughty words. But it was just so funny to me. Yeah, but that could be MAGA Mike's new name. I'm going to tag I'm going to redistribute a bunch of pictures online, and I'm going to rename the file. Every file that I make, it's going to have that tagged. That's going to be his name, Alpha Pussy. I'll misspell it on purpose, like Poosi.
I'm joined now by Curtis Hubbard, who is the spokesman.
All right, calm the fuck down, Brian Taylor. Need you to go with the flow with the music, brosif. But yeah, this music will go better with BTC. If we can coin his signature nickname. Because we were starting with Holst, and that fits with him perfectly. So that's what we're going to do.
Person for Coloradans for a level playing field. Curtis, we have some big news that I did not expect as far as redistricting is concerned in your state of Colorado. Can you explain what's going on here?
Yes, and thanks for having me, and thanks for your interest in what we're doing in Colorado. This morning we announced that we intend to go to Colorado voters this November with a temporary measure that would suspend independent redistricting in the state in response to what Trump and MAGA Republicans are doing across the nation with their mid-decade redistricting. And we would have voters approve a new map that could see Democrats take as many as 3 additional seats here in Colorado beginning in 2028.
Holy
okay,
shit.
so in terms of this whole process playing itself out, can you talk about what is needed to get this passed?
Yeah. So the first step is to go through the title board in Colorado, and the title board essentially sets the language that would appear on the ballot that voters would see. If and when we get through that process, we have to gather 125,000 roughly signatures from registered voters in Colorado before August 3rd, and then we will appear on the November 2026 ballot.
Was there any discussion about doing this in advance of the 2026 election so that it would apply for the 2026 election, or it just wasn't in the cards timeline-wise?
Yeah, the timeline just didn't
All
work
right,
as
I feel
far
like
as-
that was kind of that let me down. Because here's this dramatic fucking line. Huge news rocks House majority. I get it. Big development. Let's see. Midas touch is always dramatic. Fucking always. But it doesn't have my man there. Look at this. We're getting all sorts of wrestling stuff tonight. Bobby Heenan? It's Bobby the Brain. Who doesn't like Bobby Heenan? He is the favoritist, one of my favoritist heels of all time. I remember when he would get in trouble, he'd be talking smack at one of the big time stars, Randy Savage or something, and then he'd dude would get his attention on somebody else, and here's friggin' Heenan with the steel chair. Friggin' guy. That was sad. He died of throat cancer.
All right, y'all, let's have some fun here. So, Nick
Jesus Christ, this is good. I have stuff I can talk about on kind of a historical basis. Along with all this goddamn horrible political news, which I assure you, I'm not overstating the importance of it. We have a dictator that shits his pants. And we have a lot of people, screaming at the top of their lungs how bad this actually is, which I wish the Democratic politicians would move with that kind of urgency. Basically, Chuck Schumer, get the fuck out. All right, that said, quick little snippet of Bobby Heenan in there. Let's go ahead and put Holst. Holst is going to fit with this, because it's friggin' Nick Fuentes. And that little bitch, Jesus Christ, he needs a slap. All right, let's get her going.
Fuentes, he
Warm
is
it up.
ramping up the rhetoric against Trump, against MAGA, against Republicans, and even against the
Oh yeah, this is
voters
setting up nice.
in that party. So this
Come
is
on.
really interesting to see. He is on the fucking warpath, bro. He is on the
Peaches.
warpath. So let's take a look here. The MAGA Civil War is going to end the Republican Party. Don't interrupt them, says Maine. And let's see what Fuentes has to say here.
My message in 26, you could take it or leave it. Don't vote. Don't vote. Do not vote in the midterms. The Republicans have to lose. They have to lose.
Shit.
They have to crash and burn.
Oh.
A cleansing fire is the only thing that will save us. It cannot be fixed. Fuck them. Fuck Trump. Fuck MAGA. Fuck all this stuff.
Oh,
it can't
my.
be fixed. If it could have been fixed, it would have been fixed in 2025, but it wasn't. They made every mistake. Liberation Day, disaster. Doge, disaster.
Liberation Day.
Big Beautiful Bill, disaster. Epstein Files, disaster. Iran, disaster. The personnel, Mike Waltz, disaster.
He's spitting right now. He's spitting right now. All that shit was a disaster.
Cliff, disaster. Rubio, disaster. Bondi, disaster. All self-inflicted. Trump personnel, Trump policy, Trump strategy, Trump playbook. We tried it your way. It didn't work. Fuck you. Now we don't vote.
Jesus.
That's the message. Seriously. Can't blame anybody else. Bad advice, bad advisors, Biden's economy. Enough already. It didn't work. We're not voting. I'm staying home, and you know what? I hope the Democrats impeach him. I hope the Democrats impeach all of them. I hope they indict everybody. I hope they depose and compel the release of documents. And I hope they
Holy
find all
shit.
the criminal behavior, and I hope it destroys the GOP.
Oh!
Scorched
Did
earth.
bro just take my job? I think he just took my job, bro. I think he just said the shit that I was supposed to say.
Holy
said the shit I was-
smokes. What the fuck does that have to do with my ruby red
I'm
color?
not gonna say anything, bro. Go ahead. I'm gonna let it rock.
I hope it creates a crisis for the GOP so severe that they never recover. And then I hope we get a fucking Nazi to run in 28. And I
Holy shit.
He was spitting till he was like, I
Yeah,
do not
it's
slap
getting
you,
Nazi.
He Heil. He was like, fuck Trump, fuck the Republicans, they fucked up with Doge, they fucked up with Iran, they fucked up with everything. And then he's like, we need an actual Nazi. Yes, a Nazi.
It's getting all creamy over that shit. Oh
By the way,
my.
How fucking vindicated am I with... I honestly, the best take ever was when I said, this guy is the mirror image of Jimmy Dore on the right. This guy's Jimmy Dore circa 2018, but on the right, as opposed to what Jimmy was on the left. Like, literally all the talking points are, like, identical, right? But he's saying, the problem with Trump is he wasn't a real Nazi. We need a real Nazi. That's what we need, a real Nazi to run. And now he's going to try to... He realizes what he says, and that people like me see the show from time to time, and now he's going to take a couple steps back from the ledge now. Ready? Here we go.
never recover. And then I hope we get a fucking Nazi to run in 28. And I mean that metaphorically. I don't mean that literally.
Of course you do. You only metaphorically said Hitler was a really fucking... He was a really fucking... That was only metaphorical.
I hope we get a fucking fascist to run in 28.
I got good news for you if you're pro-fascist. They're already in power, son.
To burn the GOP down as a dark horse and win the presidency as a right-wing radical. That is my hope.
The reason why I love this too is because, like, if he gets his way, and he doesn't realize this, of course, but if he gets his way, that only means the Republican Party is more cooked. Like, there is no scenario where somebody to the right of Trump rises up and takes power and wins and gets in office and starts doing actual Nazi things, and Americans all love it, and they go, hip, hip, hooray! No, if somebody more Nazi than Trump comes up, first of all, he'd get, like, 2% in the primary, but, like, it would just doom the Republican Party even further. He actually thinks, oh, the reason why Americans have turned on Trump is because Trump wasn't fascist enough and wasn't Nazi enough. No, I think it's quite the opposite. I think he's too fascist and too much of a Nazi, and that's why people are turning on him. Of course, it has to do with the Epstein files. Of course, it has to do with the corruption, but it also has to do with...
I don't know if you guys watch the news, but that's pretty much my take. Is, well, Trump isn't exactly... I wouldn't say he's the Nazi. I would say he's being encouraged by friggin' worm tongue, little Stephen Miller's bitch ass. He's being encouraged to do this shit as policy, and He's being flattered into that sort of shit to make these decisions. I'm not saying he wouldn't have an inclination to it anyway, but sure the fuck ain't nobody of his advisors advising against these things. Like, they're just lockstep because they're happy to have what they have right now, and they want that gravy train to go as long as possible. At least until they can all dump whatever fucking crypto they bought. Until World Liberty Financial makes them something, which I don't think it is. That was visible 10 years ago. Well, probably not 10 years ago, but you get what I'm saying. That hustle was a known hustle to anybody who's ever watched Trump walk into a room and announce, you know, that something is the best. Trump University. Are you going to have a real education that's going to be applicable in the real world? Real skills that employers want to become the kind of leaders that lead. And don't apologize. Don't ever apologize. All right. Fuck that guy. I'm talking like him now. Okay. Back to it. Let's continue with this fucking meltdown.
With, unemployment out of control, inflation out of control. Like, it's all of the things. But the idea that if he was how many times have we heard Fuentes say this? If he was actually doing mass deportations, then he'd be popular. Like, he is doing the mass deportations, and people fucking hate it, actually. And now you look at it and you see, like, the percentage of people who think immigration is a good thing now, it's at a record high. I think it's like 79% of the country. And Trump is now underwater double digits on this issue that he used to be overwater on. So, it's not, what he thinks are the solutions are not the solutions. It'll doom the Republican Party further. But, maybe that's his point. Maybe he isn't up. Maybe he isn't up. That's the conversation we need to entertain. Is this guy an up? Is he an up? Is he low-key the entire time? He's been a gay Mexican little twink boy, and he's been left-wing, and he's like, I'm going to do this social experiment. I'm going to become one of the biggest guys on the right in the commentary sphere. I'm going to become super fucking popular. I'm going to get all these people to support my show and watch my show, and a whole generation of young boys who are into what I'm saying, and I'm going to be the fucking Pied Piper for them, and I'm going to infiltrate the right, burn down the right, disenfranchise all the young voters so the young right-wing voters don't want to vote, or do the old switcheroo at some point and just go full left-wing. Like, is he an up? Is he an up? Is he an up? Is he actually a liberal or a leftist? And he's like, watch this, I'm about to fuck these motherfuckers up. Because if he was...
Yeah, he'd probably get paid.
If that's what you are, Nick, that is fucking brilliant, bro.
That's what I want. I don't trust them anymore. They say, we just gotta vote for Vance. No, shut up. I'm not listening to you. The same people that brought you this garbage now want to sell you Vance. I'm not listening. You fucking people told me that Trump was gonna deliver a golden age and mass deportations and $2 trillion in cuts and charter cities and all this crap. You lied. It didn't happen.
Okay. A golden age and mass deportations and $2 trillion in cuts. $2 trillion in cuts, by definition, would make it the opposite of a golden age.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's like, sorry, no more Social Security, no more Medicaid, no more Medicare, no more anything positive that the government does. There'll be a golden age. Like, what?
Now you're selling us on Vance? I don't think so. I'm not even listening anymore.
Oh.
I'm not voting. And they can say whatever they want. Say whatever you want.
Yeah.
Try and squirm and struggle and flail around. I am not listening anymore. I am not voting. I am not reasonable anymore.
Holy
we
shit.
all played that for the last, how many cycles? Were we the reasonable ones? Hold your nose and vote. Lesser of two evils. We can't let the Democrats win. Okay, well, we let the Republicans win. Look at what that has profited us. I know it's profited Israel. I know it's profited Silicon Valley and Wall Street and the rich.
This also, though, is massive cope, too, because you are getting what you want on immigration. But the fact of the matter is, everybody hates it. It's cruel, it's gross, it's disgusting. You have horror stories of, like, 2-year-olds being deported while they're deathly sick, right? You have, senior citizen couples getting fucking pepperballed in their face and bleeding. You have, like... babies being tear gassed and all sorts of, you have horror shows having, and like, his reaction is to pretend like
The
oh,
sexual
they're fucking up
assaults.
on immigration, but they're not cracking down hard enough. And it's like, no, dude, that's one of the cores of why the regime is falling apart and why everybody hates it. Is because when you actually try to do mass deportations and you go after people who aren't criminals, everybody's like, hey, this is kind of fucked up. It's kind of fucked up. And so this is cope because like he acts like if you listen to me and you go further right, then everything would be glorious. But no, if they listen to you and go further right, everything will be worse. He was fucking cheering on the assassination of, was it Alex Preddy? I think it was Alex Preddy. And Renee Nicole Good, and he was acting like just another stupid bitch now who's gone. That's a good thing. And it's like, so again, his criticism is you need to murder more people in the streets, and that would somehow make it so you're more popular and everybody loves you, but that wouldn't fucking happen. People would hate MAGA even more. So it's just, it's also incoherent. But again, maybe the most logical explanation at this point is that he is an op. Because anybody could see that that's incoherent. He can see that that's incoherent. But again, if he's an op, it wouldn't matter. Because, like, he's just going to try to paper over that to try to disengage all these right-wingers.
What good does that do in any
Truly.
of us that live in cities like Chicago or New York or LA or even the red states for that matter? It's not doing us any good. Ken Griffin, Trump's boy, is down there in Miami, backing the Democrat mayor over there.
Oh.
I'm out. You lost me. I voted for Trump in 2016 because Trump was an outsider. Because Trump was a disruptor. Trump was going to destroy the establishments of both parties. That's not what he is anymore. And
He's a con man. He's always been a con man, though.
that's not what Vance is either, by a long shot.
He's also a con man. And he also,
Bro.
that guy's a fucking shapeshifter. He was doing the whole anti-Trump thing on CNN before he became a pro-Trump guy. He thought, oh, is this what you idiots want to hear? Fine, I'll give you that. And then he realized, oh, maybe I could hop on the bandwagon and I'll be better off. And that's how he became vice president. But he doesn't believe anything.
We need something else. I don't care where it comes from. I don't care who it is.
Oh
All
shit.
options are on the table.
Vermin
Other than voting for the
Supreme.
GOP. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. Is that not what we have been doing?
Roipers, I have something serious to talk to you about. This is how we defeat MAGA. This is how it's over for them. This is how you really stick it to the man. You need to vote Democrat. In these
shit.
upcoming midterms, you need to show J.D. Vance you mean business. You need to show Donald Trump you mean business. You need to prove to them that they fucking failed you and let you down. And the best way to do that is to go fucking vote for the Democrats.
Jesus.
So that's how you do it. Y'all better get on that.
Kalinsky's on
Nick's marching orders, not
fire.
mine. This is what Nick, he said, the only thing we're not doing is definitely, we're not voting GOP. That's right, Nick, you tell them. So all you groypers out there,
That's right,
the
Nick.
best way to stick it to the man is vote Democrat. Get on it.
Hey y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop. And watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.
Oh, Nick Fuentes. He gives me that whole it's not gay if we don't kiss vibe. Poor little fella. Well, goddamn. Painting goes a little bit easier with this stuff going on. I fear it's the ADHD cursed. I know I've said that before, but the more I say it, the more I think that there's something to it. I've got to have productive distractions going on in order to stay focused. And you may not understand how much that makes sense unless you have the condition. Because it sounds like a dog's fucking breakfast as far as logic goes. That's for damn sure. But, you know, here I am just about done with this painting, which was giving me a lot of trouble for a lot of days. A lot of trouble. Oh. What are we watching now? Shock poll? Yeah, she would win. Kamala Harris. You know, it really got to me that even liberal folk started calling her Kamala. Like, dude, Kamala's a wrestler. What's up with this pronunciation? It's kind of like how everybody calls Iraq. It's not Iraq. It's Iraq. I hate to be that dick, but, you know, Jesus Christ. Little effort. could go a long way. Argentina erupts. Apparently they've got slavery back in Argentina. I don't know how much truth there is to that. I'll look that up later. I'll check that out later. I don't want to hear nothing from John Fetterman. What the hell is going on here? Oh, that's a guy and his dog. Alright, Sasha Riley. Ooh. Our thoughts on the TV USA halftime show. Yawning Pug. Fantastic. Alright, what does Hassan have to say? I have not gone to Hassan in a long time. I was amazed he caught shit over talking smack about Israel. You know, everybody's got eyes, everybody sees what's going on. If he says what's happening is exactly what we're seeing, there's not real room to disagree there. I need a shorter video though. Breaking! Iran war imminent. Come on now. At the Black History event, oh my god. Where he called his black friends loyal. His 5 to 8 people that he knows because he's a billionaire. Shit. Oh yeah, this'll. God damn it, Kevin Nash. Let's go, Big Sex. Big Sex is having political commentary.
Yeah.
All right,
So,
we're gonna put some
you
music
watched
to
a little
this
bit of
baby.
the,
I wish I could do the friggin' Wolfpack theme. No, not Wolfpack. Well, yeah, he was Wolfpack. Shit. That's how old I am. I'm like, ooh, Kevin Nash. He's 60. Let's get his take. He's had both his knees replaced. Shit. All right, let's hear the Click's take on this stuff. No, that's not appropriate at all. That's not appropriate either, goddammit. I'm not sure how dramatic that Big Sexy's gonna get. I mean, we'll try it.
Yeah. So you watched a little bit of the Senate hearing, I guess.
The way I watched it, I think that what I took from it, besides she's not very qualified at all. Well, she's just not qualified.
You don't say.
She doesn't speak volumes for the Stetson Law School, put it that way. And when they asked for the survivors to stand and then asked them questions, like how many have, tried to give them information, and then how many, if anybody reached out to you and they all dropped their hands, and it's just like, and that fucking blonde-haired bitch at that table is the one that's in charge of the fact that nobody's reached out and talked to any of those victims. When you just look at it from that's how that plays out. She's in charge of justice. You have fucking people that are survivors of this fucking. If it was the Holocaust, fucking, we'd have Nuremberg trials. But because it's our children, and I guess it's okay to be a pedophile, like to abuse one of the most. I mean, there's nothing more precious than our children. Second would be our elderly. And then third to me is our animals.
Nash is
Like,
advocating for himself at that
to me,
elder day.
if you're cruel to an animal, like, oh, it's proven, man. Like, you're on your way. You know, you already got, you've already enrolled in Dahmer. So, no,
Well, I'm not so sure that we're not going to someday see. It might be 20 years from now. Extensive trials based on so much of what we're seeing.
Yeah, but you know, at what point is this, like, it's just starting to fucking drag, and to me, my whole life, I've been waiting for them to actually hand me a binder, and I can read everything that fucking we know about the Kennedy assassination. And now I'm 63, and it's still not fucking. It's like, I didn't even know the word redacted until fucking probably 10 years ago. I mean, it's just like.
Well, we have the benefit, or they have the benefit, in that
Damn.
assassination of that being a time where where if it wasn't written down or tape recorded, there's no hard evidence. You could do the he said, she said. Today you wouldn't have a Kennedy assassination cover-up today just because of the amount of electronic surveillance, electronic recordings, electronic data, and mapping, all that stuff. You can't be invisible today, but you could back then. So
Well, I mean, the key to this would be Maxwell, and she's never gonna. She's never gonna. Like, I think I would not have a problem.
Yeah, she ain't gonna.
Fucking waterboarding that fucking bitch.
instead, she's in a comfortable.
I wouldn't mind that. Like, let her get comfortable there and then fucking start waterboarding her ass. Thought this upgrade was free?
Start talking.
Exactly. Come on, bitch.
Just don't mention the person who gave you this.
I'd want to fucking look right in my eyes.
We have some feedback from last week. Taz Mission Plex.
Taz Mission
Plex. Former hotel manager. I don't know where this is going. I will say checkout is usually at 11.
Yeah, well, you know what? Fucking, you know what? Mall cop fucking Andy. How about this? How about go fuck yourself? I don't give you. Speaking from a safety boy standpoint, there should be no running in the hallways at school.
Holy shit.
I tried to explain.
He did the W.C. Fields there.
I was staying at fucking at a casino that was run by an Indian tribe. It was sacred fucking. It was their land. It was that they treated me like a fucking god. I was in their boss's suite. I didn't put a credit card down. I didn't put my ID down. I didn't fucking pay for anything. They told me leave when you feel like leaving. Snoop was here. He stayed in that room. He was going to leave on Saturday, but he ended up leaving on Monday. So I took that as they knew I was leaving on Sunday, but fucking if I wanted to stay, wasn't nobody following. Right. And they would have said, hey, you know, if you don't mind, Emmett Oz is going to meet Epstein's lawyers here.
Where did that come from?
So it was big enough to have a little conference in there.
Yeah, but so you have a nice day.
And while Bitcoin will cross $60,000, I
Lordy.
heard that the Dow was over $50,000, and I thought we had a new trading metric.
No, it's just sometimes, you know, we get out
the Dow.
on our skis and God bless that Pam Bondi.
Oh,
What
that
we're
chick.
referencing the clip of her is during the Senate hearing.
That's like my favorite thing. That is, matter of fact, I'm gonna go to my channel and play that shit. Because I'm live right now. Oh, but I got a short, baby. I made a short. We've got my pug there licking toes.
Ironic is that? You know why? Because Donald Trump.
Why?
The Dow right now. It's $50,000.
Fucking perfect.
The Dow is over 50,000. Ironic is that?
Jesus
You know
Christ.
why?
I think she forgets things after she farts. That's all I'm saying. Alright, Adam Mockler is hella dramatic. And I'm just about done with this painting. I think I'm about ready to call it. I'm going to work on these little shoulders here. See? Shoulders coming up. And maybe do a little something with well, don't even need to really do anything with shadows, because there's a little bit of reflection I can go into with the hair, just a tiny bit. Maybe add some of the hair that sits over the cheek, but really she's just about done. Then I might pick up the boys that I haven't worked on in forever, work on them again briefly. Now, Emma goes scorched earth on Anna Kasparian. And see that shit. Anna Kasparian had to apologize for some of the stuff she said. When she was trying to convince people that Trump wasn't going to be as bad as everybody was saying he was going to get. All right, let's see. Adam Mockler.
Donald Trump's press secretary.
He's coming with he's bringing the fire. Okay, he always comes like fucking. Guess what's up, people? We're at it again. I'm raising the alarm. But I think that's good. We got to see friggin' Kevin Nash. That stupid bitch. On a waterboarder. It's gonna be me, Scott Hall, and we'll call up Will Sasso. All right. So definitely for Mockler, we got to go with Holst. So welcome to Mars.
Caroline Leavitt seems to be losing her spark. She has stuck with Trump through thick and thin, an inverse reality on the worst days of this administration. From the execution of U.S. citizens, to the stripping of USAID, which will lead to 14 million deaths, to the cutting of Medicaid for tens of millions of Americans. Caroline Leavitt has been there defending Donald Trump.
Paint a picture, kid.
Today was not very different, but there is a new resigned vibe that Caroline Leavitt began to give at the very end of this press conference. In one of the clips, she says, "I honestly don't have any updates for you on that today." And the next one, she goes, "I don't have any announcements or updates. I haven't even read the full Wall Street Journal article that you're talking about." Just a resigned Caroline Leavitt. And it could be because just last night, the DHS spokesperson, Tricia McLaughlin, who was kind of like the Caroline Leavitt for Kristi Noem, if that makes sense. So the Department of Homeland Security has their own press secretary, and their own press secretary was also a young blonde woman who would be conventionally attracted to conservative spaces, who could go out there and just inverse reality well. That DHS spokesperson left just last night. The move comes as public opinion has turned on the administration's hardline immigration policy. So she's gone, and now Caroline Leavitt's out there fighting for her life appreciate these videos, drop a like and subscribe. And let's jump in with this clip where Caroline Leavitt already gives a really dumb, resigned answer. She gets asked about striking Iran. And essentially, we struck them 6 months ago. Trump claimed we would never have to strike again, that we eliminated their nuclear capacity. And now she gets asked, why are we about to strike Iran's nukes again if it's already eliminated? Caroline goes, there are many arguments I can make.
Thank you, Michael.
On Iran, I'm not asking you for like military secrets here, but can you share? Unless you want to give it. Can you share a little bit about the president's thinking on whether or not to strike Iran, who he's talking to, what information he's consuming, and why a strike might be necessary on a nuclear program he says was obliterated by the last US strike?
Well, there's many reasons and arguments that one could make for a strike against Iran. The president had a very successful operation as commander-in-chief with Operation Midnight Hammer, as you know, as you just said.
Fucking Midnight Hammer.
Nuclear facilities.
What kind of perv shit is
that? The president has always been
that?
very clear, though, with respect to Iran or any country around the world, diplomacy is always his first option, and Iran would be very wise to make a deal with President Trump.
This is absolutely disgusting, brother. You want to know the reality of what happened? Donald Trump posted a Truth Social post claiming that if Iranian citizens went out and protested against the regime, that the U.S. would have their back. The U.S. would use force to have back these protesters that they have nothing to worry about. So, people went out and protested en masse in Iran, and 38,000 civilians were killed by the government, and Trump did absolutely nothing. So this was a series of missteps and blunders. I'm not arguing that Donald Trump should be striking Iran. I'm arguing that he killed people by setting false expectations and then not following through. Caroline Leavitt
I wonder where he did that
she's not
before.
asked about that, which she very well should be.
And with this administration, he's talking to many people. Of course, his national security team.
He's talking to many people. There are many answers she could give. These are all just platitudes when Donald Trump led to thousands, tens of thousands of deaths. Okay, let's go over to Gaza. We talked about the Middle East regarding Iran. Let's go over to Gaza. Caroline Leavitt gets asked about the Board of Peace and who is leading this. Take a listen.
Sure.
Following up on Gaza, this $5 billion, who exactly would be in charge of managing this money? Would that be the president himself making the final decision on how these funds are spent?
It will be the Board of Peace, which the president is, of course, the chairman of, but all of the member parties, I believe, will have votes on the funding, and then, of course, there is that technocratic layer underneath the official Board of Peace with the member countries that will be making decisions as well. So if you just go back and look at the first event that we had where we sort of unveiled the structure of the Board of Peace, that structure remains in place and they'll be overseeing the funds that will be...
Oh my lord. So if you remember, the Board of Peace Donald Trump, Netanyahu, I think Viktor Orban might have been invited, while they said Macron of France can't be invited, just an inverse of reality. And the Board of Peace is the de facto ruler of the Gaza Strip. So Donald Trump is essentially currently the president of the Gaza Strip, even though he can't even manage the United States. It is just absolutely sickening. And I want to remind you that the peace deal Donald Trump tried to push through between Israel and Gaza a few months back dissolved the next day. Hamas was shooting people in the Gaza Strip, any dissidents, and Israel continued to strike, starve, ethnically cleanse the Gaza Strip while doing illegal settlements in the West Bank. So Israel has not been reined in. The war in Gaza has not officially stopped. It's kind of slowed down to a halt. But to continue right here, Leavitt then claims she's just interested in seeing flourishing democracies across the hemisphere.
Sure. On Cuba, you know, it's increasingly being described as a humanitarian crisis. What is a successful outcome for the U.S. that the U.S. wants to see in Cuba? Is there anything less than regime change that would be considered success?
I think, as Secretary Rubio has articulated, and the president himself, we obviously want to see flourishing and prosperous democracies all over the world, especially in our own hemisphere.
Lord have mercy. Isn't this exactly what Bush said, that we're just going to go spread democracy in the Middle East? Maybe we should improve upon or reform the democratic system in the United States to make sure that people like Trump and Elon Musk can't game it before we focus on nation building in other countries. But I do want to point out a theme between the clips that we've watched thus far. There's more clips to play, but look at this. The first one was about Iran and about the nuclear program. Then she gets asked about Gaza and about $5 billion. Then she gets asked about Cuba. This is all just foreign policy questions. Donald Trump has deprioritized domestic policy. He's not putting forward any massively beneficial policies for the American people. In fact, he's screwing over the most vulnerable Americans while focusing disproportionately on foreign policy. Even when we're talking about domestic policy, Caroline Levitt gets asked about Donald Trump posting racist pictures. Listen to this.
Yesterday, in his statement about Jesse Jackson, the president said, despite the fact that I'm falsely and consistently called a racist by the scoundrels and lunatics on the radical left, Democrat all, it was always my pleasure to help Jesse along the way. Where or when does the president believe he's been falsely called racist?
You're kidding, right? I will pull you plethora of examples. I'm going to get my team in that room to start going through the internet of radical Democrats throughout the years, Ed.
The
who
radical
accused
Democrats.
this president falsely of being a racist, and I'm sure there's many people in this room and on network television across the country who have accused him of the same. In fact, I know that because I've seen it with my own eyes. And the president very much looks forward to having a event later this afternoon at 3 p.m. to celebrate Black History Month and to talk about how his policies are advancing opportunity.
Lord have mercy. On like the 4th day of Black History Month, he posted an AI video of the Obamas as gorillas. The question was worded in such a way where Caroline Levitt took offense because she was like, oh, I'll show you so many times the president has been called racist. But the question was, when has he falsely been called a racist? Because every single time someone does throw the accusation of racism at Donald Trump, it's
after he does some racist shit.
Said that Obama wasn't born in America because he's black. B, made Obama and his wife out as gorillas in an AI video. C, restricted housing to black people, like back in the 70s and 80s when the DOJ decided to go after him. I mean, these allegations are made for a reason. I didn't even mention the Central Park 5 example. There are many, many other examples. And then, Fox News reporter asks a question about America 250.
To your point about that, there are a lot of events coming up for America 250. The president wants people from all over to come to the nation's capital. Is he worried that by the summer, the Potomac River will still smell like poop?
He is worried about that, which is why the federal government wants to fix it.
He doesn't want the shit
Notice
smell.
how
He shouldn't
nobody in the
go.
room really laughed. I heard more laughs earlier from a very serious question. Now, here's where Caroline
The Potomac
Levitt kind of
River will
begins
smell
this
like
big
poop.
resign. Her answer to this question literally is, I don't have any updates for you.
One more. Go ahead.
This week we saw the underlying affidavit for the search warrant that was executed in Fulton County, and there was not any mention in that document about foreign election interference in the 2020 election.
Oh,
I'm wondering
so much.
if DNI Gabbard has uncovered that in Georgia or in Puerto Rico, where we know her team was sent as well.
I don't have any updates for you on that today. I would defer you to the director's office herself.
No updates, meaning she doesn't have any spin, she doesn't have any lies. In this one, she says, I don't have any updates either.
Sure.
Two questions. One on the president's schedule today. It says he has signing time. What is he signing today? Are we expecting executive orders or actions? That's the first question. And then second, the Wall Street Journal is reporting that a U.S. arms sale package for Taiwan is in limbo. Can you just confirm this reporting /
Going at it.
for any additional comment? And how concerned is the administration that if an arms
Thank
deal
you,
with Taiwan went
Vivaldi.
through, that this could disrupt the China-U.S. Trade truce?
Sure. Well, I haven't read the full Wall Street Journal report. I will just say with respect to an arms sale to Taiwan, I don't have any announcements or updates on that for you today.
Again, no ability to spin it. I'm going to leave it there. If you appreciate these videos, drop a like, subscribe. I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.
Thank you, young man. Adam Mockler is a ballsy. He's the fellow that went on oh gosh, what's that stupid platform? Jubilee. He debated like 20 conservatives. It was god awful. Saying cult is putting it mildly. There was something wrong with a lot of those people that showed up. Like, I could smell the insecurity through the screen. There was this one guy that, he's at a debate. And he does this douchebag shit. He's like, you know what? I want you to come at me a certain way because, you know, just don't, because it'll be bad. It'll be bad. He's giving him pretty much a physical threat there in front of, you know, 20 however many people. And, yeah, I gotta find that shit. So we're gonna look for Mockler. Jubilee. Alright. This broke him. Okay, these are all reactions. Where's that stupid debate? Destiny. No, we don't need that. Where's the frickin' video? Like, just the video. Is this it? Mogged. I don't know who Kay Schwimmer is. I fucking hate his hair and his shirt, though. Oh, Jesus Christ. Scott Jennings. That's all he fucking does. He doesn't actually say anything. He just makes faces. And just is smug. And that's it. Throws a dash of dick in there. Well, let's not be modest. It's not a dash. It's fucking... It's a Molotov of dick. Black conservatives hate black people? How destructive. Alright. I'll have to go to a reaction video because it looks like that's pretty much it. That's all there. They may have taken down the original. Alright, Mr. Mockler.
You think MSNBC is radical?
Yes, I do.
You think
Okay, I gotta see that friggin' pipe neck jock face. No. A bunch of those guys were just bedwetters. Oh, come on, man. Oh, there's friggin' rapist hair. Damn, man. It ain't there. Oh, is this it? Yes, it is. How... I couldn't find it in the regular search. Okay, here we go. All the fangirls are there. Ready to defend Trump. And we've got the fellows that wish they were not ethnic. I'll stand on that shit. Dang, what happened to the bro? Maybe I'm thinking of the wrong one. You know what? I am thinking of the wrong one. The person I'm thinking of, Merciless. God damn it. Merciless. I know exactly who I'm thinking of. Okay. It is not Isaiah. Piers Morgan. Let's see. Not Knowles. Leftist versus MAGA. Oh, I know Destiny got pretty merciless on that, but there is quality to the mercilessness that is unmatched. Oh no. Mehdi Hassan. That's who we need to see. Because Mehdi is he takes chunks out of people, basically. Like, his intellect is he's too fast. He knows too much. Like, he has an impossible amount of facts just at the ready. Cenk, oh gosh, Cenk would be like, oh yeah, that's his movie. Well, yeah. He's smart, but he has to like do the he does the dad moves when he's got to like clear his throat. And yeah. All right, where the hell is the Mehdi Hassan? The full video. All right, now I got to look up Mehdi. All right. Well, there we go. Surrounded. Yeah, I know that this is where that guy
Whatever
is.
he says goes then. Yeah, I don't care.
Oh yeah, this is it. It's friggin' insecurity, man. He ran right up there after his buddy got told. Let's go for the dramatic start. All right. Thank you, Vivaldi. Let's get it.
Hey, how's it going? Mehdi.
You're from northern UK, I guess?
I'm from London, North
Okay.
London.
Fair enough. What's your ethnic background, if you don't mind my asking?
My parents are from India.
Okay, perfect. Just getting the premise here. First of all, I want to say
The premise of Donald Trump being pro-crime.
No. I want to concern myself with why you care about what's happening in the U.S. first and foremost. Secondly, I want to say this: with the
Should
argument,
should people who live in the U.S. not care about that?
Let's not interrupt each other. Because I have this thing, like people know, I have to stay calm. Okay, so
Like people know.
Here's the thing: I am happy that he released J6. In fact, so much so that I was prepared to protest if he didn't.
Okay.
So when you say, "Are you okay that he's pro-crime?" Sure, because you know what? We're changing the definition of what crime is. First and
You don't
foremost.
think stomping on police officers' heads is a crime?
I don't think it's no longer a relevant conversation anymore. You're
Really?
arguing. No, it's not, because you know what? Okay, have you seen the U.S. in the last 4 or 5 years?
Yes, I've
BLM protests. Have you seen? Okay, myself have been involved in these protests. I've seen egregious things that you couldn't even imagine.
So we
being
have no
done to
rules there?
conservatives. It's not about that. It's about tribal warfare. That's where we're at in the U.S. I don't know where you're at in the UK. You're from India, so I don't really.
I'm not from India.
Oh, sorry, your parents are from India, so
I'm an American
you have
citizen.
your own states.
I'm an American, you know.
You're an American citizen? Okay, fair enough. I don't know how you got that, but fair enough. Here's the thing.
Are you an American citizen?
Absolutely. But here's
Not sure how you got that.
born here.
Okay.
Born here, and my family lineage is settlers from the 1500s, so I have some stake in the claim. Okay,
But you're
a little different.
But you're a descendant of immigrants. Settlers.
I didn't know.
Colonialists.
Yeah,
You don't
colonials.
look
yeah.
very Native American to me.
I am Native American. Whites
not.
are Native Americans. What are you
Sorry.
talking about?
You're not.
What are you talking about?
Oh, you get the
Whites are
applause.
Native Americans.
Really?
I think
What was
you're-
happening before the 1500s?
I think you're getting confused with it.
I don't mind going on a tangent, but what was happening before the 1500s?
Calm down. I think you're getting.
What was happening before the
Calm
1500s?
down.
There was indigenous people here that
Yeah.
came here
Do
from
you know what
Asia.
indigenous means?
Listen, before
Indigenous
America,
people
Let-
can't
you
come from
let me
somewhere
finish.
else.
Why do you ask a question if you're going to interrupt?
I'm not sure if you know what the meaning of indigenous means.
I do know what it means. It
doesn't
means
sound
they
like it.
came here first, right? They came here from Asia by way of land bridge. Have an argument with Neil deGrasse Tyson or anybody else about that. I don't care.
Is he an
I
American?
genuinely don't care. Yes, he is. So
checking.
my point is, okay?
Nothing to do with crime. So far, you've agreed with me that these
Because
people
you're
are criminals.
derailing, dude. I'm trying
You
to stay on
literally
track.
sat down and asked me where I'm from. I think you
I
derailed
think
this
you got
conversation from the
offended
get-go.
by that, but
It's not offended. I'm just wondering what it has to do with crime. We're going to talk about immigration. Don't worry. Later on, you can come back.
I hope so.
Right now, you're doing a very bad job of making the case that he's not pro-crime.
I just got a round of applause. I have a problem probably get another one actually if I ask for it.
Wow.
So I don't think I'm doing
how
as
you
bad.
get rounds of applause? You sit in a room with 20 people who agree with you. Wow, amazing.
That
will make you feel good.
You know what? I'm
20
actually
people
glad
agree
you're
with
getting
you,
this
applauded you.
emotionally outraged right
Wow.
now. This is great.
I love it.
Do I have to say anything at this point, or are you just
Please.
gonna keep going?
Please. Make your claim.
My claim is that I don't care if it's pro-crime. You want to go back to the topic of the conversation?
That's fine. We agree then. He's pro-crime.
But
and
I
you
have
don't
a
care.
question for you. Do you care on the opposite side of the spectrum?
Yes.
Do you care about law being administered
Yes.
to the opposite side of the
Yes.
spectrum?
I think anyone who assaults a police officer shouldn't be pardoned. I think that Donald Trump shouldn't have pardoned 9 Republican members of Congress who were convicted of crimes, and I don't think Joe Biden should commit. I don't think Democrats should pardon Democrats.
Fair, but I don't
We
think
both
you understand where we are in the U.S. then.
I think I do.
No, because you're arguing for the position of like a U.S. that doesn't exist anymore. We're headed towards
So nihilism, no laws, nothing matters.
It's not about
Everyone's pro-crime.
It's not about that. It's that conservatives conservatives for too long have been playing it safe. They've been playing by the law. They've been playing by the
law.
Yes, they have.
Maybe you missed the Bush
conservatives
presidency. Did you live here during the Bush years?
Conservatives are
Didn't
so
play by the
concerned.
law, George W. Bush. Nor did Ronald Reagan.
Let's be respectful here. Let me.
I'm
finish.
not sure you've been that respectful, but okay.
I'm trying to bring it back, so let's both bring it back.
That's
Okay.
good.
I'm conservative. Okay.
Really?
Let me tell you this. We do play it too safe. We've been playing it by the book for too long. At this point, gloves are off, right? The left has made their point. They're willing
Are
to
the
do
police force in Washington the left?
Yes! Are you kidding me? The left? Are you
Police
insane?
officers?
Look at LA right here. You think those stand down?
You think the LAPD are a bunch of liberal Marxists?
No, but I
Really?
think they listen to liberal Marxists who tell them what to do. I think they listen to who signs their paychecks at the end
Can I
of the
just
day.
check,
who are
because
liberal
you're doing lots
Marxists.
of little diversions. We both agree Donald Trump's pro-crime, you're just fine with it.
No,
Is that
I
the position?
don't
That's what you've
agree
said
with
so
your-
far
I
for
don't
about
agree with
5
your
minutes.
I agree with your definition
What's
of
your
crime.
definition of crime?
It doesn't
Stomping
matter.
on a police officer's head is not a crime. That's
no,
your
what I'm
definition of
saying-
crime, as the Native American.
I am Native American.
If you say so.
So, going back to the topic at hand, we have different definitions of crime because you're talking about
There's a criminal code in this country. It's called the U.S. Criminal Code.
You know what? Let's focus
That's
on
what
what we
everyone
agree on.
focuses
I'm
on.
sure you and I actually agree on a
Do
lot
we
more
agree
than
that
yours.
people shouldn't stomp on police officers' heads? Can we agree on that? If
I'm
you don't
not-
agree on that, then I really think this conversation is kind of
No,
pointless.
because first of all, you're saying what? That the police have the authority, that they're given the authority. I don't accept the authority that's been
It's
given
a
by
very
liberal
conservative
Marxists.
position.
I'm
a conservative or pro-police.
Then you
Or
don't
we
know what a
redefine-
real. Hey, listen,
we
you're in a room
redefine
with
crime.
juggernauts right now.
We
Okay,
redefine
I'm telling you right now,
conservatives.
you are going to be blown open if you think
Yeah,
that my
if we're going to
position is
struggle
not
with the
right,
English language
which
for the
no
next
idea
couple of hours, then
what
yeah,
you're
we'll
up
struggle.
against right now. Okay.
100%.
Yeah. Newsflash: the conservatives are liberal.
Newsflash.
Okay. Neocons, libertarians, all those mainstream people, there might as well be leftists to me. Okay. That's how far to the right I am. Do you understand my position? So
I
when you
kinda
say,
guessed it when you sat down.
say, about obeying police, why would I give the authority to police?
Beautiful.
Do you know you're in America?
Do you think Donald Trump should be pardoning 9 members of Congress who committed financial crime?
Let me see if I can remember
Are you
his name right, because
pro-financial
it's so-
crime? Are
Do
you
you
pro-financial crime?
All right,
Thomas
pause.
Tindall is.
Pause.
I think the people who clapped you have voted you out.
All right. Let's proceed. You can vote out the majority.
Nice to meet you.
Oh my.
Hi,
Hello, sir. How are you?
Hey.
Look at these assholes.
Be as respectful about this as possible, but the truth is, your claim is completely bad faith. You do not care about being anti-crime. You yourself are pro-crime. Your side is pro-crime because you're a progressive.
How am I pro-crime?
So I'll give you an example, right? So your side, not Donald Trump, has passed a series of laws in California. Let's go with California. It's where we are right now. It's where I'm from. No, are you from California?
No.
Okay. So in California, for example, the state legislature, completely progressive, just passed a law that limits sex offender registration to 10 years. It was life before. That's pro-crime. The legislature in California, which is progressives again, has passed a law that says the voter-induced three-strike law is no longer absolute. If someone murders someone, stabs someone on 3 separate occasions, a judge now does not have to give them life. That's a progressive law. That is not. That is pro-crime. You support that, don't you?
I actually don't support sex offenders coming off of this. I think they should be on the life.
Okay, so you disagree with
hold on. You and I both agree that sex offending is a bad thing, especially child sex offending, right?
It seems like you and I agree on that.
I
The
agree on that.
legislature of
So,
California does.
so I'm not here to debate the legislature of California. I'm here to debate
You're
Donald
progressive.
Trump being pro-crime,
But
and
you're
I'm saying that Donald Trump was friends with Ghislaine Maxwell. When Ghislaine Maxwell, who's the worst child sex trafficker of our lifetime. She's serving over 20 years. Do you know Ghislaine Maxwell?
Yeah, she's actually not. Jeffrey Epstein's the worst sex trafficker.
He's dead. I'm talking about people alive right now.
It's interesting though you didn't use his name, right? Wouldn't he be the one who did this?
Great. I'm glad you brought up Jeffrey Epstein. Jeffrey Epstein, before he died, in an interview with Michael Wolff, he's on tape. I don't know if you heard the tape. He says my closest friend was Donald Trump. I was his closest friend. Elon Musk, I'm not sure if you've heard of him. He tweeted recently that Donald Trump's name is in the Epstein files. And Ghislaine Maxwell, who was the right woman,
so is Elon's.
when she was on trial for child
trying to
sex
party,
offending,
baby.
which you and I are opposed to, Donald
Fucking
Trump stood
perv.
up and said, good luck to her, I wish her well. So yeah, that makes him pro-crime and pro-criminal if he's being soft on child sex traffickers like Epstein. No, I'm saying he was friends. He was friends with Epstein. You haven't seen the videos? They danced together, partied together. Epstein said I was his closest friend.
He's not supported the pedophilia part. The only people supporting
Actually, that's not true. Trump gave a speech about 20 years ago where he said Epstein's a great guy. He loves young women. A lot of them are very young. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink, laugh, laugh. So yeah, I think he's pro-crime and pro-criminal.
So you think he's soft on sex offenders? Do you have any friends who are criminals?
Not that I know of. Certainly not child sex offenders. No, do you?
If it came, no, of course not.
Okay, so we're both in agreement again.
If
So
it
why are you
came out
defending
tomorrow,
Donald Trump?
if it came out tomorrow that one of your friends was a child sex trafficker,
You know what I'd do?
You'd stop being friends with him.
Yes.
Yeah,
And I wouldn't say.
And then I'd go on TV and I would say, oh look, Mr. Hassan was friends with this guy 10 years ago. Therefore, he's
What if
pro-child
Mr.
sex
Hassan said, I wish them well when they're on trial? Wouldn't you ever do it for
You
that?
wish your
Wouldn't
friend
you
well
do-
on trial?
Yeah, child sex trafficking. Would you be mad?
I wouldn't wish someone well, but that's
Donald
your
Trump
gotcha.
did.
That's your gotcha.
It's a pretty big gotcha.
You wish
Yeah,
your friend
pretty
well.
big gotcha.
Okay,
He praised
see,
the
what you're really
woman
trying to do
who
right now is you're
What
trying
about
to
the
get
fact
back
that
to Donald Trump on a personal level.
Elon
Let's talk
Musk says his
policy.
name?
What's his
Oh,
policy?
you want to talk policies?
Yes.
So when he left office in 2020, he left behind the highest murder rate for over 100 years.
He left behind the highest murder.
Yes.
That is the most bad faith claim you
No,
could
no,
possibly
it's
make.
a fact from the
No,
CDC
and you know
data.
what? Here's why it's bad faith.
Can I finish a sentence and then you can come back in?
You're just lying to people. Donald
I'm
Trump.
lying? Can I finish the sentence?
Donald Trump does not cause the
Can I-
murder rates.
can I-
Murder is a state
Oh,
level
that's
crime.
hilarious.
Gavin
Conservatives
Newsom is
spend-
more responsible for the murder rate than Donald Trump is.
That's hilarious. So Donald Trump's not responsible murder rate, but other politicians who are Democrats
Yes,
are.
because it's
Everyone
a state
can see
level
your
law.
partisan.
That's like saying no. I'll say Republicans are too.
let's-
State governors who are soft on crime are the ones that are
Let me
responsible
finish
for
a
murder
sentence. When Donald Trump left office in 2020, between 2019 and 2020, according to data from the CDC, from the FBI, from Pew Research, the 30% increase in the murder rate between 2019 and 2020 was the single biggest jump in the murder rate since 1905.
And who's
So
doing
he's
who's
pro-crime
doing the murdering?
and
Aren't they
pro-criminal.
responsible? Who's doing the murdering?
The murderers.
So aren't they responsible?
But why
for
did
the
it go up
murder
on
rate?
his watch?
What?
Why did it go up on his watch?
Gee,
He's
that's
very
a real
bad.
hard. That's
He's
a
very
real
bad
hard.
at fighting crime.
That's a real hard one to figure out, right? We shut down the whole economy during COVID. We told everyone they couldn't go out unless it was to violently protest. We told people that if a cop tries to arrest you, that cop's probably going to get charged with murder.
No, I think the pandemic had a lot to do with it. But the pandemic didn't finish in 2020.
What?
The pandemic didn't finish in 2020.
You
and yet
asked why the murder rate
and
went
yet
up.
we're
The
going to
murder
blame the
rate
one
went up
about it.
because of
You
all
guys
this
blame
stuff.
Joe Biden for crime for years.
But Joe
For
Biden
years.
actively induces policies that are pro-crime. I'm asking
So
you
does
for
Donald Trump. Okay.
Name the policy
I'll
that's
name one right
pro-crime.
now. I'll name
Please,
one right
I've
now.
asked you for like 10 minutes.
I'll name one
Please
right
do
now.
that.
Haven't actually talked about California legislatures. He pardoned violent criminals who
not-
then went
that's
on
not a
to
policy.
commit
He
other
did-
crimes. You don't think releasing violent crimes into
A
the
pardon's
community?
a one-time thing. What's his policy
know-
he has pushed? Name a law he
Hold
has
on,
signed.
a pardon
What
is a
law has he
one-time
signed?
thing. Is a policy is not one-time
That's
thing.
like Jimmy Carter pardoned the
You
draft bill.
guys may want to dodge January 6th, the pardons.
I'm not dodging that.
Then
Jimmy
deal with
Carter.
it. Did you
okay,
agree with
I'm
it?
gonna write
Do you
down.
agree with
Jimmy
it?
Carter
Do you
pardoned
agree
draft
with the pardons?
dodgers. Does that mean his
I don't
policy was no one
support
has to-
Jimmy Carter. Do you
Okay.
support the pardoning of people who went on to be prosecuted for sexually abusing a 7-year-old child, illegal gun possession, reckless homicide?
Now, see,
These are people
there's
who
more bad
released.
faith. See,
These
there's
are
more
people
bad
who
faith.
released from
He
prison.
didn't pardon someone for sexually abusing a
No, but
child.
they went on to be
pardoned
convicted
someone
of it.
for
So
rebelling
that's-
against the government that they believe
No,
had
they-
rigged elections. That's what he pardoned for. He didn't pardon them for sexual child abuse.
But they were criminals who committed those crimes. He let them out. So that means
Now
the
you
crime
say,
rate
now,
goes up.
so you say they're criminals because they did the crime, right? Would you extend that to illegal immigrants? They're all criminals because they committed a crime. I have a
No,
feeling your
the
position
Supreme Court. We're going to talk about immigration.
Someone who's illegally entered the United States, not a criminal, but
Not
somebody who
according to the
illegally
Supreme
entered the
Court.
Capitol
Not
is.
according to the Supreme Court of the United States.
The Supreme Court has said that anyone who enters the United States
The
illegally
Supreme
is not a
Court,
criminal.
and we
What's
can
the case
jump
say?
to
Can I get the
future
case
claims.
say? Can I get the
We
case
can
say?
jump to 20. You want to get the case?
The case say, please. For
You
you said the Supreme Court
The
said
citation of the case.
yes, that entering the United States illegally is not a crime.
It's called Arizona versus United States 2012. Go look it up.
Pause.
us. You've been voted out
Holy
by the
shit.
majority. Please return to your seat.
They went to war with a lion.
Hey, how's it going? Nice to meet you, Maddie.
Thank you for coming. Appreciate you. I really just more want to get an understanding when you say.
All right. So Medi makes people insecure. It's a good thing. Friggin' cooked. And I keep saying I'm going to be done with this painting, but I keep finding shit to paint. does your towel work?
Yeah.
You're walking out here, friggin' hair all wet.
I have a different towel for my hair.
Go hang with her, Peaches. All right. So I like the debates. Those are pretty good. The one versus however many. Professional bigot. I don't know who that is. But yeah, Mehdi Hassan, I'm glad he started his own thing.
Oh, criminal.
Because he got friggin' axed by MSNBC for talking about Israel. Which, you know, like I said earlier, anybody who's got eyes understands when you say something that we've all seen. It's pretty scumbag for somebody to go ahead and throw all the what have you about it. Well, you know, that's anti-Semitic. There's nothing anti-Semitic about saying, you know, it's probably about time to get the reins on people who are intentionally targeting kids. And that was awful quiet. So, we're going to go ahead and get some more music on really quickly. Vivaldi is fast becoming something I like. But we can go with the Für Elise. Oh, that's a short one. That's kind of a depressing one. Jesus. I almost wanted to go right into that. Well, we might as well consider... We'll stick with Mehdi. But I gotta find some better music to play along with it, because I've played out the Holst. I'm gonna go ahead and say it. And the suggestion ones are way too quiet. Way too quiet. Yeah, and these are too... There needs to be robust music. And I can't use the movie soundtrack ones because I'll get copyright strikes. Son of a bitch. Oh, Beethoven. Let's see. Ludwig van Beethoven. Majestic classical music. All right. Fellow that started that is named Hans. All right, this might work. Peaches.
What do you mean?
I mean that when confronted with people who've committed criminal acts, Donald Trump has been either soft on them, friendly with them, pardon them, and of course, let's not forget, I mean, we've got 5 minutes left, I'm surprised it hasn't come up earlier. He's a convicted criminal himself, sitting in the White House.
Okay, I want to make sure I
34
understand you correctly, because
Yes.
I don't want to strawman you.
No,
You're saying
I appreciate that.
every time that he's been confronted,
Not every time. I didn't
most
say the
times,
words every time.
most times,
A lot of the time.
a lot of the times,
Yes.
he's leaned towards criminal activity.
I didn't say criminal activity. He has committed crimes.
Endorsed criminal.
He's been indicted for
Right.
88 different criminal offenses in 4 different jurisdictions by 5 different grand juries. He was convicted himself on 34 different criminal offenses by a jury of his peers. But let's park that for a moment.
Okay.
Separate to his
Kinda
own
works.
crimes, when
Right.
confronted with the crimes of others, or the alleged crimes of others, for example, a Chinese crypto billionaire
Right,
called
right.
Justin Sun, who was being investigated for market manipulation, Trump dropped the case, invited him to the golf course,
Right, I get
invited
it.
him to
So
the White House,
plenty of examples,
and the guy
plenty of
invested
examples.
$70 million in Trump's
Okay, so
cryptocurrency.
what I want to ask you
That's
this, okay,
pro-crime in my
so
view.
is it possible, because remember, the burden of proof's on you, right? You have to prove, is it possible that all these things that he's done that supposedly make him pro-crime, is there's another reason for the doing it? There's other justification. For example, let me give an example, and then you can rebut it. The J6.
Yes.
Is it possible that he could have done this to unite the country, to move past, to go to a new chapter? If it's even possible, I think you would have to admit that there's another possibility. Therefore, he's not pro-crime, at least in possibility.
So let me agree and disagree.
Yep. Okay.
So I agree with you that the intent could be different. I don't think Donald Trump was sitting there saying, how can I increase the level of murders? Let me release some murderers.
Right.
I'm not saying he did that, James. I don't think he was trying to unite the country. That's where we disagree. That's bullshit. In fact, he divided the country further. But intent doesn't really matter to my claim. If he's releasing violent criminals,
Wait.
it doesn't
Intent
matter.
doesn't matter?
No, he's pro-crime and pro-criminal.
No, but that's a big indictment to say pro-crime. That means
Pro-crime.
pro-crime.
Well, he is, because for instance, I gave you an
No.
example.
It could
Can I
be
finish?
possible.
I didn't
Okay, sorry,
interrupt.
forgive me. Yep.
Your friend earlier, your ally, said, where has he done stuff to increase the crime? I'm telling you, people have been pardoned who have been convicted on multiple other crimes. These people who we pardoned had previous criminal records. They were not just some folks chilling around go, we're against the takeover of our country, we're opposed to rebellion. A lot of these people were already hardened criminals, militia members. He looked at those people and said, you know what? They've been convicted, in many cases, by Republican judges, but I'm going to let them out. Yeah, that makes
Can I
you
ask you a question?
pro-criminal.
Is it possible?
Very
Again,
much so.
and
if Joe Biden had done it, you'd be attacking him.
Sure. Is it possible that their conviction was part of a plea? It's like, oh shit, I can't get out of this, so I got to take a plea deal.
Some of them, maybe.
A lot of them, maybe?
Others we saw with our own lying eyes on tape.
Okay,
Battering
so
police officers.
I wanna-
Denise, did you watch live on January 6th? What happened?
To be completely honest, I'm pretty novice on this. I'm more trying to target. You're saying he's pro-crime, and in my head,
I'm
just
saying-
thinking this logically. Let me finish. If I can finish 1 second. If thinking this, and there's a possibility that he might have had other reasons. For example, unifying the country. Next chapter, right? That could be the reason. Therefore, it's not pro-crime.
What?
There was other reasons. I'm just saying that's a possibility. And if that's
I'm saying it's a possibility, but I'm saying it's irrelevant because if you're knowingly releasing violent criminals out into the community, pardoning, not just releasing, then yes, you are being pro-criminal. And I've interviewed police officers.
I don't know about that
I've
case, but
interviewed police officers who have been assaulted, beaten, had to retire from the police office, broken bones.
Can I move really quick? Yeah, go
I'll finish very quickly. I've interviewed these police officers. They've been beaten by people who they've then seen walk off the streets and then carry on threatening them. Yes, when Donald Trump is responsible for that, you're definitely pro-crime.
Okay, I doubt
All
a lot
right,
of sources,
pause.
You doubt
Pause.
police officers who testified to being assaulted?
You've been voted out by the majority. Please return
Nice
to your
to meet
seat.
Thanks.
Voted out.
Hey, how's it going?
Good.
Nice to meet you, Maddie.
So you claim that your main claim is that Trump pardoned some people from January 6th. By the way, I was there. I saw it all firsthand. About a football field away, there was smoke in my eyes, bloodied. It was a crazy day. No, of course not, because I didn't enter the building. Stayed very peaceful. But your entire claim is that he pardoned. That's basically you keep bringing it up. All you do is bring it up.
Okay, I'll mention
Well,
some other
let me
people.
say this.
Are you
Let me say
okay with
this.
his pardoning of Paul Walchak, who
Let
stole
me
money
bring
from
this
his
up.
employees?
You keep talking
or
about
9 former
pardoning.
members of Congress.
You
That's
keep
my
talking
claim.
about
He
pardoning.
keeps pardoning criminals. That makes him
You know who else
pro-criminal.
pardoned a big criminal?
Go on.
Hunter Biden was pardoned by his
Yeah, I
father.
don't think
He
he should've
did
done
crack cocaine,
He should've done
and
that.
he had hookers there too.
I'm with you
Oh
all.
my
I'm
God.
with you all.
But then why don't you claim
go
that
check my
Biden?
Twitter.
Why don't you claim that
I
Biden
think Joe
is
Biden in that
pro-crime?
instance was pro-crime. He shouldn't have done it.
Well,
he
so
shouldn't
he
have done
was
it.
overall pro-crime
He shouldn't
just
have done
because
it.
he did that
No,
one.
but Joe Biden didn't just. So if it was just a pardon, then you'd be fine. But I already mentioned there's also the fact that Joe Biden wasn't actually a convicted criminal in office. Trump has committed crimes. Trump hangs around with criminals. He spent much of the 80s hanging around with the New York mob. He hung around with Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell.
Well, that whole that's
I can keep going.
Jeffrey Epstein lived in West Palm Beach, the area, and that's the closest golf course you can go to. And he's very, very rich.
Trump is in the Epstein
So he
files?
paid.
Do you
As
think Donald Trump is in the
soon
Epstein
as
files?
Trump found out.
Do you think Donald Trump is in the Epstein files?
No, I do not.
Why is Elon Musk lying?
Let me explain. This.
Oh, this didn't age
He
well.
lived in the area in Mar-a-Lago, near Mar-a-Lago, so he bought, obviously, a ticket to go in there. As soon as Trump found out that Epstein had done all these bad things, immediate ban from Mar-a-Lago. Immediate ban from Mar-a-Lago. Yes, it is.
That's not
yes,
true.
it is. 100%.
In fact, Ghislaine Maxwell recruited some of the girls that were abused from Mar-a-Lago.
So listen to this.
From Mar-a-Lago. That's pretty outrageous, right?
Elon Musk tweeted that out in a fit of rage, okay?
Sometimes people tell the truth when they're angry. The truth comes out.
Wow, these guys are really people still making excuses for that shit.
Elon Musk had no access to the Epstein.
This was, I can't remember how long ago this debate was.
Whatever he says goes then, yeah, I don't care. He knows more information than I do.
A lot of MAGA people are upset.
He knows more
with Cash
information than I
Patel
do.
for saying
But here's the actual claim.
Suddenly people are trying to vote you out because you said you agree with Cash Patel on Epstein.
He knows more information than I do.
Pause. That's time. Please return
Oh,
to your
dang.
seat.
Good to meet you.
Yeah, take care.
Surrounded is now a podcast.
He was a little bit
Available wherever you
sweet.
listen. Search Surrounded.
Just a
plug in,
smidge.
and stay part of the conversation. Anywhere, anytime.
My next claim is that Donald Trump is defying the Constitution. Nice to meet
pleasure
you.
to meet you, sir.
Mandy, lovely to meet you.
So I would say that with Trump being anti-constitution, I don't really care, to be quite frankly.
Okay.
Because in regards...
I don't really care.
In regards
Oh,
to
this is that
the
asshole that lost
Constitution
his
is a
job.
document that should seek to serve us. And when it fails
He claimed
to
to
seek
lose his
serve
job
us,
anyway.
that can be amended. Laws can be changed. And quite frankly, the fact
Quite
is,
frankly?
we're defending things in this country that shouldn't be defended. The First Amendment should not defend pornography and making children and women
Oh my
be
God.
victimized. Making women and children be victimized as a result of that. I think things like blasphemy shouldn't be allowed per the First Amendment. I think that, quite frankly, there are a lot of legal
Quite frankly?
processes that are enabling criminals and bad people to fully enact their will in this country in the name of the Constitution or following the Constitution. So, quite frankly, if Trump is
Quite frankly?
good, and I think he should
Jesus
go first.
Christ.
This is wonderfully revealing.
And look at that guy just came in his fucking pants.
It out so openly. Just checking, do you support the Second Amendment?
I do.
Okay. Surprise, I was shocked to hear that. I'm saying that Donald Trump is defying the First Amendment, the Fourth Amendment, the Fifth Amendment, the 14th Amendment. He's thinking of defying the 12th and 22nd Amendments. You're saying you don't care about the Constitution, but actually you do because you quite like the Second Amendment. You just don't like the bits that you disagree with. Can I just be clear on
Yeah,
that?
absolutely.
Okay.
I'm more than willing to amend it and include
Whenever
the
it's in your
Second
favor.
Amendment.
Quite frankly?
So can Democrats do the same when they're in office?
No, absolutely not.
So
Because
you don't
it's the
believe in
friend enemy.
democracy?
No, I don't. Absolutely not.
What do you believe in?
Autocracy.
By who?
Honestly, quite frankly, anyone who
Quite
is in line
frankly?
with Catholic teaching.
Donald Trump is not Catholic.
Of course, he's not. I completely agree,
so
and that's
you
part
support
of the problem.
Trump? You don't support Trump?
No, I don't. I didn't even vote for him. I wrote in like John Pork or someone. I can't even remember.
Why did you vote if you don't believe in democracy and you want autocracy?
Well, because quite frankly, I voted.
Quite frankly?
I kind of voted.
Jesus Christ.
This argument, but I'm bored of my own argument. I'm much more interested in this. So
If I ever see that guy on the street, I'm gonna flip out.
I think, quite frankly,
Not even
that
because of his views,
if we
because
are
he keeps
able to
saying,
enact
quite
local
frankly?
leaders or-
Jesus
I think,
Christ.
Quite frankly, these far-right
Quite
conservatives sitting
frankly.
right around.
White people?
Yeah,
No
absolutely.
So,
Well,
some
actually,
of you guys,
I have quite.
some of the people
I
in this
have
room
quite-
don't make the cut
no,
from what I can
actually,
see visually.
Actually, hold on for a moment. I do think that there are people who happen to not be white who do actually have history in this country and have roots in this country. For instance, from the Mexican-American War, we subsumed a lot of territory of people who have far stakes in this country who happen to be Hispanic or what have you. I'm for defending the traditional demographics of this country, which is majority white,
So
and
how,
should stay that
how
way.
does the United States... I mean, we've gone so off topic, but how does the United States look like under you? So what's your name?
My name is, my name's Connor. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Took a little bit of a doubt there.
Oh, well,
Just saying,
I use
Connor,
a pseudonym online,
fair enough,
but
Connor.
fair enough.
How would Connor's America look? What would it look like?
Well, quite frankly, I think we would deport people.
Quite
who
frankly?
shouldn't be
No, I didn't
here,
ask about
whether-
deporting. What does the government look like?
What's the government look like?
Yeah.
I would say, quite frankly, it's under
Quite
a
frankly?
sort of benevolent
Fucking
leader, such as
shit,
Franco.
bro.
It could be a kind of aristocratic class. Could be someone
No, but
who
who picks the autocrat?
frankly, the people. I mean, we
Frankly?
can vote on it. Kings
So
were
isn't
paid.
that democracy?
Well, sure. You can have a vote to get to that stage.
And then no more votes afterwards?
Absolutely.
Wow.
100%.
Wow. And if that autocrat kills you and your family, you're fine with that?
Well, I'm not going to be a part of the group that he kills because that's the whole thing.
How do you know?
Carl Schmitt
Autocrats tend to kill everyone,
Carl
even their own
Schmitt makes
supporters.
this point very well in his work. It's the friend-enemy distinction, right? You
Carl
liberals,
Schmitt, the Nazi theoretician.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't care.
Are you a fan of the Nazis?
I frankly don't care being called a Nazi at all.
I didn't say that. I
Doesn't
didn't
matter.
actually say
frankly-
that. I said, are you a fan of the Nazis?
Well, they persecuted the church a little bit. I'm not a fan of that. But
What about the
you know,
persecution of the Jews?
Well, I mean, I certainly don't support anyone's human dignity being assaulted. I'm a Catholic.
But
And
you
so
don't condemn Nazi persecution of the Jews?
I think that there was
Oh.
a little bit of persecution
We
and stuff
may
like
have
that,
to
which is
rename
bad.
this show
but-
because you're
A
a little
little
bit more
bit
than a
of
far-right Republican.
persecution.
Hey, what can I say?
I think you can say, I'm a fascist.
Yeah, I am. Absolutely.
I'm just checking
Somebody
this
wearing
time
those
just to get
fucking
myself
booty-hugging
where
pants
everyone
would
is.
laugh like
You know
that.
millions of people are gonna be
Jesus
watching
Christ.
on YouTube and checking out who the
Quite
fascist
frankly,
Nazis are.
I'm not ashamed of that whatsoever.
clearly you're not.
During the
Clearly you're not.
during the pre-war period prior to World War II, it was only those parties that properly enacted the people's will. That's why they won. The conservatives were fat cats.
Are
They
you
were
in favor
aristocrats.
of,
They didn't care.
of killing people who aren't like you?
Quite frankly, I'm not.
Quite
in
frankly.
You mentioned
they-
Franco earlier. Franco killed a lot of innocent people.
Oh, well, he killed communists. He killed people who raped nuns and killed priests.
What about children who he killed and women who he killed?
What are you talking about? He never killed any women or children. He was Catholic.
He only
dude.
killed combatants. Is that what you're
Yeah,
claiming?
he only killed combatants.
Never killed any innocent people.
The white terror was only punishing those people who did acts of terrorism. And again, are you supporting like raping innocent women? Nuns, dude. Killing priests.
Nuns,
I mean, priests
dude.
don't brandish guns and kill
You
people.
just refuse to condemn the Nazi Holocaust, my friend. I don't think you're in a position to ask anyone any questions.
I quite frankly don't care what you think.
I quite
about.
frankly-
If I'm a Nazi
And
and
the
being a
feeling
Nazi
is mutual,
if
so-
being a Nazi means upholding human dignity, because I even believe in your dignity. I don't. In a state that I was
with the
running,
greatest of
I wouldn't
respect,
want to. I wouldn't want to hurt
I
you
don't
or
debate.
anything like that. But
What are we
quite
doing here?
frankly,
I don't debate fascists.
okay. So do you concede then? I mean, why?
Do I concede you're a fascist who won't condemn the Nazis?
Yeah.
Yes, I concede.
Okay, great. So I mean, what are we doing here? Because I mean, you
don't
just seem
know what
offended.
you're doing here,
You
to be
just seem offended, to be quite frankly. Like,
I'm offended by people who
Quite
can't condemn
frankly.
the Nazis. Yes, I am.
okay. Well, I condemn the evils that they did, but I don't really
Against
care
the
about
Jews?
being. Yeah, sure. I don't care about being called a Nazi is the whole thing.
I never called you a
I
Nazi.
care
You
about
called
doing
yourself
the right
a Nazi,
thing.
a fascist, and a General Franco
Well,
supporter.
yeah, I am a General Franco supporter. He was awesome. He was super cool, quite frankly. Because the whole
And you
thing.
don't
Quite
believe in
frankly.
democracy.
I don't believe in
What are
democracy.
you doing here at a televised debate?
Because,
This is democracy. Don't want to debate and
because
disagreement.
it is the means to support an end. The reason we have free speech now is because we want to be openly talking about our opinions so we can get the state that we want. But it doesn't mean
This is
upholding
great.
free speech after we win.
I-
Again, I mentioned
the only good thing about this fascist moment
the
we're in
whole
is
reason
that you guys are so open about it.
the
It's
whole
great.
reason I
Say the
mentioned
quiet part loud.
the
Keep saying
whole
it.
reason I mentioned Carl Schmitt earlier, and he kind of blew past him, is the friend-enemy distinction.
past him because of the Nazi
Even
part.
liberals, when they take power, they want to enact policies and they want to enact protections for their people and their ideas, and they're willing to punish their enemy. And so I'm the same way. I'm like, hey, if you're going to punish me, I'm going to get in power, and I'm going to frankly punish you when you try to leverage power
Frankly,
against me.
Jesus Christ,
Just
bro.
that simple.
I'm not sure what you want to say.
Hey, it is what it is.
All right. Pause. You've been voted out by the majority. Please return to your seats.
It's a pleasure to meet you, sir. I can't say the same, but thank you.
Oh God, he went and jacked off after that.
Good to meet you, man.
Good to meet you, sir. All right. So I kind of want to start at the basics or the foundation. I want to see.
Can I
what-
just check?
Yes.
Are you a fascist?
No.
Okay.
I don't. I describe myself as, I think, just a Christian.
Fair enough.
I'm a devout
Oh,
Christian.
Christian.
So, I want to start like, what is your connection to the Constitution, and why do you love it so much? Like, what makes it so important that Trump would defy something like the Constitution to you personally?
Great questions. My first connection is I'm an American citizen. I naturalized American citizen, took a pledge to this country, to the Constitution. As a previous speaker has said, the Constitution's not perfect. A lot of things I don't like about it. I don't like the Second Amendment. There's various amendments. I don't like the way the Senate is set up. I'm sure there's things you don't like about the Constitution. The difference is, I don't think you can just illegally defy the Constitution. I think each and every one of us can just make up whatever we want. Certainly presidents who are elected with an oath, right? Donald Trump took an oath to preserve, protect, defend the Constitution. And now when he's asked on television, isn't it your job to uphold the Constitution? He said on NBC, I don't know, which goes against his oath. And I'm identifying specific amendments where he is violating. He's only 6 months into his presidency, defying the First Amendment, the Fourth Amendment, the Fifth Amendment, the 14th Amendment. He wants to defy the 22nd Amendment and be president for a third term. This is the problem we have right now. Free speech is under assault. The free press is under assault. Due process is under assault. The right to be in your home and not be invaded by federal agents, the Fourth Amendment, is under assault. So that, for me, is a problem.
Okay. Well, I'd like to start to say I really don't find the Constitution that important. I find it to be like a 300-year-old document. And it was created to defy the country that subjugated your ancestors in India. And then your parents probably moved from India to Britain. And then you moved here to tell us that we should listen to a piece of paper that you were never even connected to begin with. So I want to say, like, if I don't care about it, why do you care about it so much?
How do you run a country without any kind of laws or due process? And by the way, you do care about it, because without the First Amendment, you wouldn't be sitting here.
Well, I agree with the First Amendment, and I think.
So do you agree with Donald Trump's crackdown on the First Amendment? He's imprisoning people for their speech. He's threatening free speech media organizations. He's threatening peaceable assembly. These are all rights under the First Amendment. Why aren't you bothered by that as a conservative who claims to love the First Amendment?
So I don't like the First Amendment. I like free speech.
Okay,
so
the First Amendment is what guarantees free speech. I'm from the UK, by the way. I'm from the UK, which is a democracy. We don't have the First Amendment. No, so that's one of the things I do like about the Constitution. I wish the UK did have a First Amendment.
So people
I'm a
that get
journalist.
arrested for praying outside abortion clinics and stuff like that.
So you're opposed to people being arrested for speech crimes, I assume.
Well, it depends what it is. If it's like the people.
So you're like one of the previous speakers. As long as it's someone who agrees with you, you don't mind the crackdown.
No, I support.
Either we consistently support principles or we
free
don't.
speech 100%.
Okay.
I don't think anyone.
So do you think Donald Trump is defying the Constitution by cracking down on the First Amendment?
So I think he's cracking down on free speech, like the deportation of Mahmoud Khalil, who was just released from prison by a judge, saying his First Amendment rights were violated. And I agree with the judge, and I disagree with Trump deporting them. But I think that's more a matter of free speech and not the Constitution.
I think that's pedantry at this moment. I think you've conceded that he is cracking down on free speech, which is the First Amendment. So he is defying the Constitution. So it's a pleasure to be in agreement with you, sir.
All right, pause. You've been voted out by the majority. Please return to your seat.
Thank you very much.
Jesus Christ. I think that was the equivalent of a speed bag getting there.
Thank you, sir. I'm Mehdi. Great to meet you. My name is Kai. Do you, Mehdi, believe that the Constitution is important and good?
Overall, yes.
Do you believe that that Constitution can be eroded through democratic processes?
What do you mean by eroded?
The original intention of the Constitution being destroyed through a purely, democratic or legal process.
I'm not sure I agree with you.
Okay.
I think if you're democratically amending the Constitution per the rules of the Constitution, that's fine. If we could find a constitutional way to get rid of the Second Amendment, I'd be pro that.
So let's pose a hypothetical where the entire population of the United States is drastically
Where's Tom
changed,
Hanks?
Yes.
And the population now has completely different intentions about what to do with the country. Let's say
This is the song that came on in every 80s movie that had a part where there were fancy snobs.
What's the use of the Constitution? It
With a
hasn't
rich.
defended the country. In fact, it's allowed for its destruction.
I don't understand the premise. How did the whole country change?
Demographic replacement, mass migration. I mean, we're seeing a change in demographics, and there's
what is I do want to talk about immigration today.
Everyone's
itching in this group to get to immigration.
Yes,
I've saved it for you all. But given we're on the sense of the Constitution, and you asked the question, what is the proportion of immigrants in this country? What proportion of the population is foreign born?
It's very difficult to measure because the actual projections of the number have been changing more rapidly.
But what is currently the best estimate of official estimate?
Doesn't even know.
15%.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just under 15%.
Which is, by the way, more actually than the original estimate was. So,
but 15% of the people are going to change the country, change the Constitution. How's that going to work? It's actually a nightmare. As someone who wants to amend the Constitution and get rid of things like the ridiculous way the Senate is set up, the Second Amendment on guns, various other things, it's really hard to change the Constitution. They made it almost impossible. You know, last time we had a constitutional amendment, like 20, 30 years ago.
I understand, which is
why
why
I think members of Congress pay.
Which is why
it's impossible.
I get it.
So where are you getting this scenario where 350 odd million people all become foreign-born migrants, or the children of migrants, immediate migrants, even though America is a nation of migrants, and then abandons the Constitution and gives the country back to Mexico? Outside of your imagination, where is that happening?
Let's bring it back to the actual discussion. What you did is you entertained my hypothetical, but then instead of sticking to the point of the Constitution, you said, well, how would you bring about your hypothetical? And then when
you missed out the part where the Constitution is quite hard to change.
Hold on. I understand that. I think
I also wanted to get a sense of where you are, and you're a great replacement, guys.
okay. Yeah, and you're a real good journalist because you don't talk to people who identify as like a political ideology. I mean, that's
No,
a very
I
liberal
don't. I
idea.
don't debate fascists.
And-
I'll talk to them,
And
but I won't debate.
frankly, that's upsetting. I think there's a big problem when you value freedom of speech so much, but any real journalist is not going to talk to somebody because they identify with the politically incorrect ideology.
Just talk to the guy in front of you. What are you talking about?
You literally stop talking to him, and then
Debating versus talking is very different.
Okay.
He doesn't believe in free speech.
Okay.
He doesn't believe in democracy.
He was freely speaking with you. You're the one
No,
who
he
shut
doesn't.
up.
No, he said very clearly.
Okay,
He said I support free speech so that I can get one election. After one election, my guy comes in, and after my guy comes in, nobody gets to speak or vote again.
We all listen to
Why
your
would I debate that?
You listen to your conversation. Let's
Well,
bring,
I'm
let's bring
reminding
it
you
back
what
to
it was
this
said
topic.
because you just
Let's bring it back to the
misrepresented.
Constitution.
Please do.
I
First, fourth, fifth, 14th Amendments. Those are the
Sounds
ones
good.
I'm saying Trump is defying. Do you
Sounds
support that or do you deny them?
I believe that the Constitution is valuable because it represents particular interests of the founding stock of Americans who made this country great.
Do you think due process is important? Some would say that's at the very core of American Constitution.
And what
Fifth
I,
Amendment.
And what I think makes the Constitution function, what allows it to save this country and to actually make it work, are the people who are...
I'm not sure where you're going with this argument.
Hold on. I'll show
Is
you.
Trump defying the Constitution?
hold on.
That's my claim. You can have these weird hypotheticals
We're taking it into a different manner, which is,
I'd rather not.
what's the function of the Constitution?
I'd rather not have your...
You already did. You already did.
Yeah, but now I
just
don't
5
want
minutes
to.
ago when you took the immigration
Now I don't
power.
want to.
Okay, let's bring it back.
I want to bring it back to the First, the Fourth, the Fifth, and the 14th Amendments, and the 22nd Amendment. Either you say, you've got two very good positions here. One is to say, I don't think he's defying them, and I'll say why you're wrong. Or you say, I don't care that he's defying them, as one of your colleagues said, in which case, I don't know where this conversation goes because you don't believe in democracy.
That's fair. So do you think it's wrong to dismantle the Constitution?
So there are two options ahead of you.
No,
Do you
hold on.
agree?
This is important.
Do you
What
agree?
I'm doing
So
is
is Donald Trump... Okay, let me ask a question back. You're asking me questions. You're not answering the basic point.
Well,
do you think Donald Trump is dismantling the Constitution?
I want to...
Do you agree that Donald Trump is dismantling? Because I'll agree with you on that. I think he is dismantling.
I think he's
illegally unconstitutional.
I think he's interpreting it in ways that are more...
Which judges do not agree with him.
Okay,
Which the Supreme Court
does not agree with. And the judges don't agree with the people who wrote the Constitution.
How do you know that?
Okay, let's take your example of the Second Amendment. Let's say that a bunch of
I didn't
judges...
give the Second Amendment.
No,
I said
hold on,
first,
hold on.
fourth. You don't want to talk about the ones I've given.
You're interrupting me. You're interrupting me.
Because you're ignoring me. First, fourth, fifth, 14th,
Sir,
22nd Amendments.
I'm
Those are my amendments that I came with today.
If you don't want to debate, then just say so. I'm trying to understand your ideology. You believe that dismantling the Constitution is
talk about the
okay
first,
when it's
fourth,
about parts
fifth,
of the Constitution that you
22nd Amendment.
You would be fine getting rid of the Second Amendment, even though that would be a dismantling of the Constitution.
No, because it would be done via Constitution. Means I'm not the one sitting here like your pal.
Okay, you have agreed. You have agreed the Constitution.
I'm not the one saying you just get rid of them willy-nilly.
Right,
I don't agree.
We're ramping up.
I don't agree that Joe Biden should come in and say by executive order, if Joe Biden put out executive order saying Second Amendment no longer applies, I can round up everyone's guns. I don't agree with that.
Your result is exactly
I don't
the
agree
same.
with them. No, but I don't agree with the method of doing it. It's unconstitutional.
That's fine.
He would have been defying
That's
the
fine.
Constitution, and I would have said so, but you can't bring yourself to say so. We've been sitting here for several minutes. All of your friends have seen me ask you several times, do you agree that Donald Trump is defying the First, Fourth, Fifth, 14th, and possibly 22nd Amendments? Your colleague at least admitted that he's defying the First Amendment.
I understand you came in here. What you are attempting to do is simply frame this conversation like you did with the first claim about Donald Trump. But then when anybody asks you any kind of question that presses you to the least degree...
No, I answered. I said I would dismantle the Constitution, but I would do it constitutionally, not by executive order.
So what I'm trying to get to is to prove to everybody who's watching that what you care about is not the Constitution and what it represents or creates. You care about the Constitution only insofar as it allows you to achieve your political worldview. We agree on that.
I care about the Constitution
You agree with the
because I don't think presidents should be fascist dictators and violate the Constitution. That's what I'm saying. And he is I don't think the president should have the power to lock you and me up if we write an op-ed that he doesn't like. I don't think the president should be able to crack down on us if you and I decide to go protest outside his parade. I don't think the president should be able to deprive you and I of due process or come into our homes without a warrant.
And I
well, let's end on an agreement then.
All right, pause. You've been voted out.
I'm glad
It's
we
good
end
to
on
meet you.
agreement.
It's good to
meet you, Kai.
Good Lord. Cooking.
Hey, how are you? I'm Eddie.
Hi, I'm Jessica.
Nice to meet you.
How are you? So Trump is defying the First, Fourth,
Fifth,
Fifth,
14th, and maybe the 22nd soon.
Okay. So I want to focus on the First
Okay.
and the Fifth.
Okay.
So you say that Trump is defying the First Amendment? Can you give me an example?
For example, he banned the Associated Press from attending White House events. A Trump-appointed judge said that was against the First Amendment. He's been cracking down on media organizations he doesn't like over their speech. If they say stuff he doesn't like, he, for example,
Cracking down how?
So, for example, he banned the Associated Press from attending White House events because they said it's the Gulf of Mexico. That's not how it works. They were already at the White House. He deprived them of access, so he punished them for their speech.
But are they allowed to go to the press?
Which is why a judge he appointed, Trevor McFadden, said this was contrary to the First Amendment. A Trump-appointed judge. He's called MSNBC and CNN illegal. Media organizations are not ipso facto
But that's free speech.
illegal.
He can call them whatever they want.
Attacking the media
Yeah, he
by
can
the
attack.
president as the executive?
Yeah, he can
And
say whatever he wants. That's literally the First Amendment.
He can say whatever he wants.
Absolutely.
But the media can't say what they want.
They do.
But he's going after them. He's suing them. He's using lawsuits to crack down on the press.
They
Presidents
used
have not done that
lawsuits
before.
to give him 34 felonies that Hillary Clinton did.
No media gave him a lawsuit.
No, but people
we're
on the
talking about
Democratic
media.
side.
We don't talk about the Democrats.
Okay. So he can call them whatever he wants because that's the freedom of speech.
He's
he can even
threatened to
discourage-
imprison reporters.
He
He wants to imprison. He said reporters should go to prison for reporting. He threatened someone with prison rape. Right? That is against the First Amendment.
Okay. How is that against the First Amendment?
You don't think sending reporters to prison for
Is he
reporting that he
sending
does
them?
right?
Did he do that?
He wanted to. He said so. I would like them to do that.
I would really like to.
So other people stopped him doesn't mean he's not defying
Okay,
the Constitution.
so
he
can
also
want
said
to,
to turn up.
excuse me, he can want to do something.
Yes.
That doesn't mean he will or he can.
Okay.
And I think he's very.
Well, I've already given an example of something he did do to the Associated Press. But okay.
Yeah, okay, so the Associated Press is allowed in the Oval Office, which is his office, that's his executive space.
Okay.
And they are allowed in the press room, just like CNN, just like The Guardian.
Which he thinks are illegal media organizations. He calls the media the enemies of the people.
You called him a fascist.
Yeah.
you can say whatever you want.
Yes.
Yes.
But the
and
president is. I'm not the president of the United States with executive
so
power
now, okay,
to
so
crack
then
down on the
First
media.
Amendment only applies to the citizens, but not the president.
I never said that. In fact, Donald Trump runs his mouth more than anyone.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And he doesn't just say stuff. As I said, he actually does stuff. He actually does crack down. For example, Fifth Amendment.
Yes.
Due process.
Yes.
Judges have actually said you have violated due process.
Yes, except
people on trial.
for people kind of forget the Clinton, the 1996
All right.
immigration
So we're doing good on this.
You can get
What time we got? Holy shit, it's almost 1 in the morning. I was having too much fun listening to friggin' regulators here.
American children have been deported multiple
I thought I was
times.
going to get to a second painting.
Their parents have been deported, and their parents say,
No, the father was American. No, we don't know because they didn't go to court, and the judge.
They don't have to go to
by the way,
court.
yes.
That's
Okay.
not a part of the due process.
Are you a lawyer?
I'm very aware.
Are you a lawyer?
Do I have to be? Oh, we're making an argument.
Are you a lawyer?
We're making.
It's a simple question. Are you a lawyer?
Okay, we're making an argument.
I'll take that as a no. A Trump-appointed judge in the case, not some Marxist lefty judge, as you people like to call them, a Trump-appointed conservative judge said it is illegal and unconstitutional to expel or deport an American citizen without meaningful process. He said that in April. So that was an act that Trump did. It wasn't speech. He got rid of an American citizen from the country without process. That's the Fifth Amendment violation.
Since I'm not up to date on that specific
I give you more.
So
well, you weren't aware that American citizens are being deported. It's a pretty big story. Maybe if you read the fake news, you might know. If you read the fake news, you might know what's going on. A lot of American citizens have been deported.
fake news. I don't watch CNN or Rachel Maddow. Sorry.
That's why you don't know that your fellow citizens have been deported this year.
My fellow citizens.
Are they not American citizens have been deported?
Okay. When a child goes with their.
All right, guys, that's time. Please return to your
Nice to
seat.
meet you.
Before we go any further, we want to take a moment to say thanks so much to Straight Arrow News for powering the fact check in this video. Straight Arrow News is on a mission to raise the bar on journalism in a time of media bias and mistrust. Straight Arrow News helps you quickly find trusted information you need to understand the news, allowing you to dive deep into the topics that matter to you and the world around you.
I don't want to
Their
hear
work is
about
trying
it,
to break the
man.
bias bubble, helping you understand how every side of the.
But they're immigrants, you say.
No, they came here as immigrants.
Naturalized in the United States, are citizens of the United States.
I'm aware of that.
The clarity you deserve.
Yeah, naturalized. Maybe just want to start by asking this: do you care more about helping immigrants or immigrants in this claim?
Immigrants are Americans. I'm an immigrant. I'm American.
Well, immigrants are not Americans. Americans are the people that were born here.
That's not true. Where'd you get? What's the basis of your claim for
Are
that?
you talking about people that get naturalized in the process of becoming American?
14th Amendment. Have you read it?
Okay, yes, I have.
Citizenship clause. It
so
says any persons born or naturalized in the United States are citizens of the United States.
I'm aware of that.
There's about 40 to 50 million naturalized Americans
I'm aware
in
of
this
that.
country.
Yes, but
You didn't seem aware of it because you said Americans versus immigrants.
So, but are you understanding that the process of getting all these immigrants that come in here we've been also, the millions of immigrants, it's up to the millions of immigrants for the last 20 years now, and it has dramatically affected Americans here in the country, which
Positively, I would agree.
people like me and everyone around here, we cannot find homes or even get jobs within our own fields that we go to college for, that we get into debt for. And because more blue-collar work, especially construction, agriculture, and
Oh, God damn it.
hospitality industry, we cannot get jobs in those fields, so it
Are you
requires
looking for a job in construction?
I am not, no. I went to college. Many people here are in college or went to college, but we can't even find jobs in our fields, also because of the H-1B visa program as well. But in regards to this, your claim about immigrants specifically, we cannot even get jobs to pay for housing.
Unemployment is at a record low right now, even under Donald Trump. And I'm not a Donald Trump fan, but I would say unemployment under both Biden and Trump has been at record low levels.
Okay, is this in regards for American citizens?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I'm not aware of that statistic, but from what I see, from what
I'm an immigrant and an American, and I employ many American citizens, both naturalized and the ones born here. I employ
my
Americans.
parents, no, my parents came
Americans is defined by you.
My parents came as immigrants, became naturalized, so I'm not necessarily
Oh
opposed
wow.
to immigrants.
So you're the child of immigrants.
Correct, I'm a child of immigrants. I was
But you don't accept immigrants are Americans.
not at this moment.
So your
because-
parents are not Americans.
Not at this moment.
Hold
no,
on, your parents
they're
are not Americans.
citizens. They became naturalized.
You just said you can't be citizens like Americans.
No, I was born here, and I'm not
Yeah, you're
opposed
born
to
here, right?
naturalization.
But
I
are your
never said that I'm
parents?
against naturalization.
Are you against naturalization?
No, I never said I was against
You did.
naturalization.
You began. You're very. Everyone was here. They can play it back on YouTube. You said Americans or immigrants. Are your parents Americans or immigrants?
No, my parents are United States citizens.
But they're immigrants. You said.
No, they came here as immigrants. However, but
So they
I
are
want to make the
immigrants.
claim that we can
I came here as an immigrant. I'm
But
an immigrant.
at this point, when they came, the United
People
States
aren't happy with the way
economy,
this is going for you.
the United States economy was not at.
It's better now. The American economy is better than it's been
Not
for
from
many
the-
years.
not from the
And I can say
statistics
that
I
as someone who
see.
doesn't like Donald Trump.
We're
Which
giving
statistics are you
millions
seeing?
and billions of dollars
Which
to
statistics
people
are you
of,
seeing?
minorities as well as
The reason the
immigrants
economy is doing badly now
that
is
we
Donald
can't-
Trump's
that we're
tariff
giving it to
policy.
us. We can't
Nothing
even
to do
get
with migrants.
businesses.
In fact, the
They can't even
congressional.
start businesses.
I'm an immigrant. I started a business. In
No,
fact,
I understand because the
immigrants
SBA is
are
giving people
immigrants.
billions
I didn't
of
take any
loans.
loans
They're giving
from
them
SBA.
billions.
I didn't take any loans
I'm not
from
saying
SBA.
you did, but I'm
Okay, well,
saying
I'm
that
saying I did.
statistically speaking, they're giving billions of
So should we do
loans.
statistics? According to statistics, immigrants are 80% more likely to be entrepreneurs than native-born Americans.
Sure,
They're more likely to start businesses and hire Americans.
No, I'm aware
Right?
of that.
Immigrants
but
are more
we
likely
also-
to pay in taxes than
Yeah.
take out in benefits.
And
They're more likely to add to innovation and jobs and wages. This is what the statistics show. The Congressional Budget Office. Let me just finish my point.
All right.
Okay. The Congressional Budget Office, which is bipartisan.
I keep saying I'm going to be done, then I keep starting. I fucking start painting again.
Will lead to an extra $9 trillion of GDP over the next 10 years. That amounts to $65,000 per American household. That's $65,000
All right.
for each and every one of you holding up a red flag.
Okay, I understand
All right,
that, but
pause. You've been voted out by the majority. Please return to your
Nice
seat.
to meet you.
nice to meet you. Thank you.
That was handily handled and handled. All right. Well, I'm going to call a close to it. Hopefully, fucking tomorrow I'll be done. Because I keep saying I'm going to be done, and then I see places where I need to work on more. But she is extremely close. As you can see, the light quality is there. It's definitely there. There's definitely a lot of dimension now. It is, yeah, starting to look just about as good as the other ones I've done. And so, yeah, quality. Very good quality. I'm going to start discussing with people that I know about coming on with me, doing collabs, instead of just me listening to these amazing folks and biting off of their style. Start putting my opinions out there, our opinions, collectively, whether in agreement all the way or in disagreement. Because ultimately everybody has different experiences when it comes to, well, their own lives and their own unique positions. So their own perspectives, their own backgrounds and such. You know, people come from different places, different cultures, different ethnic backgrounds, and different generations. So different generations are going to experience things much differently than, you know, me as a Gen Xer gonna have a much different experience and remember things that maybe millennials only heard about, but then Zoomers may not even be aware of some shit. Like seeing an old phone book. Yeah, I'm fucking old. But anyway, alright, we're gonna call it quits tonight. We're wrapping up with Mozart doing some Figaro shit, which I think it went kind of exemplary with Mehdi Hassan dismantling the whiny entitledness of the forgotten generation, pretty much. Ow. There we go. Opera. This is what Andy Dufresne was listening to when he got busted in. Had to go to the hole. Alright. We're going to go ahead and start drawing it to a close. But I do appreciate anybody who came by tonight and hung out for a little bit or lurked. If you have any questions, any suggestions for content, let me know. Like I said, I'm going to start bringing on people for collabs. Some are going to be artists. Some are just going to be people that we, shoot the breeze, kind of chop up situations. Always have a nose for current events, especially how it's viewed from outside my bubble. So, yeah, we're calling it a night. Thanks for showing up and hanging out. And if you're new, give me a like, give me a subscribe, and I will be along in the next couple of days or so. So, thanks for stopping in. Have a good night.